Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Yes, yes, yes. Or should I say, well. Look where we have ended up. Sacramento being mentioned, not just when it comes to the smaller trade pieces. Sacramento getting mentioned in the big trade pieces as well. Will it result in anything? Well, that remains to be seen. But Sacramento is truly on the way up as LeBron James is being mentioned as a name that maybe could make his way to Sacramento, or at least, why is nobody talking about this? Why is nobody talking about the fact that this is a possibility? So we'll talk about the possibilities. We'll also talk about the reality. And the reality of the situation is the Sacramento Kings have an opportunity to beat the Pelicans for the first time in a very long time, or it feels like a very long time. They went 0-6 last season thanks to the NBA Cup and the play-in. They played them way too many times, and they can truly get a monkey off their back tonight. The Rockets did it last night. They hadn't beat the Golden State Warriors in 15 straight games. Now they needed some help from one Bill Kennedy, the biggest eye guy when it comes to referees. Mr. Look at me. And I would know because I'm kind of the same way, but I'm not a ref. But they got it done. The Rockets did, so it's not impossible. A bunch of different roster combinations for both teams, really. Rockets couldn't get it done until last night, and they stay in the NBA Cup, and we'll talk about the NBA Cup. Is it a complete mess? Sam Amick was on with the morning show, essentially said that the NBA is treating the NBA Cup like Major League Baseball treats its league. We have the TV money. We're going to market it as best we can, but it is what it is. You got to convince people to like the Rockets. You got to convince people to like the Thunder. You got to convince people to, I think they do like the Bucks, but you got to convince people to care about these teams. The Hawks as well. Trae Young. If you look at it, the issue is the NBA's ability to get these guys over the hump. I mean, you got people are complaining, saying that Adam Silver is just in a tough spot. You got Giannis, Trae Young, and the number one overall pick, and Sachet on the Hawks. You got the Rockets, who the Rockets are probably the toughest team as far as star power is concerned, and then you got the Thunder, one of the best up-and-coming teams in the league with an MVP candidate in SGA. So if you can't make this stuff work, you're just not trying hard enough. And I know there's been conversation about the American-born players versus the foreign players. Okay, you have Giannis, but besides that, well, I guess SGA is Canadian. But you got SGA, North America, and you got Trae Young. So if you can't make this stuff work, you're just not trying hard enough. But you got to get people to care, and that's the toughest part of it. So we'll discuss the NBA Cup and what Steve Kerr had to say. He rips Bill Kennedy. He's probably, at that point, when you're Steve Kerr, you just eat vines for breakfast. You don't care. So we'll discuss that. We have the Roundtable coming up at 12. And the guys, I know they're already worried about the trade machine, and they should be worried, but not from me, from other people. I want to talk about this roster. I want to talk about this team. I don't want to whip out the trade generator.
Then do that.
I'd love to, but conversations have to be had. So Brenden, Nunes, Frankie, Cartoscelli, our fearless leaders of the digital team, they're going to be joining us. We're going to have a lot of fun with them, and we're going to discuss who their dream pickup would be. But more importantly, can the Kings turn it around? And whether or not the Kings need a move. Maybe they just needed a little bit of rest. All right, Niners, Rams tonight. We know the Niners are missing some guys. It was raining a bit last night. Whether or not it'll clear up enough I'm not going to say a Brock Purdy joke here. Should be pretty good conditions to play in. should be pretty good conditions to play in. And that's not just for the Niners, that's also for the Rams and that electric offense. And Sean McVay, who can remember the cereal that he had at age 7. So a lot of great stuff. We made it, people. We made it. It was tough, but we made it. How many days did we have to go with no Kings? How many days did we have to go with no Niners? And now we get both in one night. And we have other NBA that's going on as well, of course. And this is going to kick off the weekend, or getting into Friday Eve, as I call it, in the right way. Of course, we will have your calls, your texts, your Sack Chat. And as we mentioned as well, Sam Amick, friend of the station, future friend of the show, there was a survey done via The Athletic, and Monty McNair, they polled 40 execs who are either first, second, or third people in charge of their organization to rank their top 5. And there are teams that didn't get a single vote. 21 different organizations received at least one first, second, third, fourth, or fifth place vote. Here are the 9 teams, or there are 9 teams who did not get a single vote, and Sacramento was one of those teams as far as best front office in the NBA. Does that say anything about Monty McNair? Some people out there, some fans out there are probably thinking, I knew it. It's not surprising to me. Why would he get any votes? They haven't done anything. And again, I think this speaks a lot to the DeRozan move again, and to a lesser degree, the Sabonis deal that was done a couple years ago. So I think it's more about what have you done for me lately. But that really does speak to the DeRozan deal and how people aren't necessarily sure about this fit still, as they're still trying to crawl back to 500. People aren't sure about the fit. People aren't sure how this whole thing is going to work. People aren't sure where exactly the Kings are going, even though if you look at it, it is interesting. And maybe there's a little bit of Sacramento bias going on here, because if you were to tell someone that there is a team with 2 guys in the top 25 for NBA players, and with that being said, they have 3 guys now in the top 40 NBA players. And then if you expand, I would put Malik in the top 50. You would say they have 4 guys in the top 50 as far as NBA players. You would think that GM did a pretty darn good job. But people are kind of taking this a little bit deeper than just the talent that you got in the building, and they are including fit. They're including fit. So we will break all of that down. There is Jimmy Butler drama, where you have Jimmy Butler's agent saying what Shams said yesterday as far as adding the Phoenix Suns to the list, and that created an explosion as far as Jimmy Butler for Bradley Beal, and Jimmy Butler's agent coming out and saying, you don't know what you're talking about. Shams is standing on business, and we've seen this before. These agents, they do the same thing every time. They want to protect their guy, so they'll say, hey, this journalist, whoever, doesn't know what they're talking about. But in reality, they're just upset that it got out early. Because for Shams to build the brand that he built, we talked about it yesterday. He's been doing this thing since he was in diapers pretty much. For Shams to come out and then go on First Take today and stand on business, I'm more likely to believe Shams. These agents, they get upset when things get leaked, and then they say that whatever was said isn't true, and they hope that it just doesn't happen. They might have egg on their face. The same thing happened with Brandon Ayuk. And the Brandon Ayuk trade, and the agent might say, see, I told you, but Brandon Ayuk was out the door. Kyle Shanahan and Jay Glazer reported, Kyle Shanahan ran up the stairs to the exec. He'll sign. He'll sign. Don't trade him. But Brandon Ayuk's agent came out and said, hey, whoever it was, I think at one point it was Chase Sr., you don't know what you're talking about. This guy was, he was playing whack-a-mole with everybody who got the story. Brandon Ayuk didn't end up getting moved, but it didn't negate the fact that there was a good chance he could have gotten moved. So these agents, they get embarrassed almost that this stuff gets out, or they're just upset that this stuff gets out. And then they say, no, none of that's true, when ultimately we know, at this stage in the game, what Shams has on the line, he ain't just making stuff up. He's not just creating stuff. Now, if this is Johnny Blue Check with 1,000 followers, yeah, then maybe that might be different. But Shams is not going to put his name on something on multiple platforms and it not be true. So where there's smoke, and that doesn't mean that Jimmy Butler is going to go to the Suns. That's why I don't know why these agents do this, because Shams is reporting that it could happen. Shams is reporting that Jimmy Butler was open to the Suns. So why are and I believe the Heat retweeted something, or someone involved with the Heat also became a part of this. Shams isn't saying a trade is imminent. Shams isn't saying something is about to happen. So why go out there and call somebody like Shams essentially a liar, or that you have bad information, when he didn't even say that something was a for sure thing? So I don't know why these agents do this. It always turns out that maybe something got misconstrued, but most of the time there is at least some truth to what is being said, and it got out earlier than what the agent wanted, or the agent didn't want it to get out at all, because that affects the wiggle room for these guys, and then they get upset at whoever broke it. So we'll break all that down, but on the other side, let's get into some NBA Cup action. I know we're still trying to convince people to care here, and the Kings aren't in it, so I know that's even tougher. But I do want to have a conversation about where we're going with this NBA Cup, and the fact that when I watch it, last night I watched it, and it was exciting to me. I mean, you had the Knicks playing. You had Trae Young playing, who hates the Knicks. The Knicks fans hate him. Then you had Rockets Warriors that still has a little bit of juice. Is there nothing the NBA can do? Absolutely nothing. Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Christmas music is everywhere. The smell of gingerbread is in the air. And wait, what's that sound? It's Santa. He's headed back to Sacramento for the 41st Annual Santa Parade, December 14th in downtown Sacramento. Bring your entire family to the parade route around the Capitol for over 100 floats, including marching bands, pageant princesses, clowns, horses, and of course, Santa himself.
The 41st Annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 14th, with Shriners Children's Northern California, Gurnick Academy, and the California Army National Guard. The fun begins at 10 a.m. Get more info at sacktownsports.com.
Find it all too. Enter Kohl's. They have the best gifts all in one spot. The toys your kids have been asking for, the silk PJs she's been eyeing, and the stylish sweater he'll love. And you can get 20% off some of your gifts during their customer appreciation event. Yup, holiday shopping at Kohl's is the move. Select styles, offers end December 15th. Some exclusions apply. Coupons do not apply to toys. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
The NBA Cup. What is the Emirates Cup now, right, Kyle?
Yeah. Let's just call it the NBA Cup. Let's not give Emirates the plug.
It's gone from the in-season tournament to the NBA Cup. They don't even, I guess they try to call it the Emirates Cup, and they've made the courts very bright, even to be orange, the same color as the ball. It can be a little confusing at times.
Except the Sacramento Kings court. That one's just gray.
That one is great. That one is gray, and it's great. That one looks like a real court.
Disagree. I want it to be as dumb as possible. Like the entering the 7 rings of hell, like the Rockets court last night.
Yeah.
That's great. Love that. I'd want just a giant purple court for the Sacramento Kings. Just a grimace purple court.
And this is really playing out, I believe, how the NBA thought it would, to be completely honest with you. The Bucks, a little bit surprising because they're an older team and obviously they have bigger goals. But if you look at the other three teams, and I think the Thunder believe they can win a championship this season, but if you look at the three other teams, this is exactly how the NBA, I think, drew it up. Three teams that are up and coming, that feel good about where they're at, that might not be in besides the Thunder, but specifically the Hawks and the Rockets, teams that probably won't be playing in June, but they're moving in the right direction, and it gives people an opportunity to watch them. I think the Rockets, the way that they get chippy and they talk trash, is a good look for the NBA to have them in the mix. So this is essentially what you can't really ask for too much more. Last season, you had LeBron and the Lakers. You had Zion against LeBron, even though Zion was on the court, he just didn't show up. You had the Bucks and the Pacers, so you had Tyrese Halliburton and Giannis. So to me, the issue with the NBA Cup is you really couldn't draw up. Yes, would they have rather Steph to get in there and the Warriors last night? Of course. But the Rockets, that's not a bad consolation prize. If you're the NBA, I don't really know what else more you want.
Well, and the other part of it too that went great is regardless of whether the Warriors won or what teams make it to Vegas, because it's not like they don't care who makes it to Vegas. Mm-hmm. They might prefer certain teams, but because it's only 3 games instead of 4 rounds of 7-game series like the playoffs, their money's not really that tied up in who actually makes it. But I think the thing that worked great for them is they set up the schedule so that these were all primetime games, all on the same night, and all 4 quarterfinal games were excellent.
They
truly excellent basketball games, and each in different ways. All 4 games were just excellent basketball.
And nobody seems to care. Viewership is down. Across the league, viewership is down for the NBA Cup. And I was listening to Sam Amick on with the morning show, and he spoke to somebody that was kind of connected to the league and essentially said that I'm likening it to Major League Baseball, where we have this TV money, so we're kind of solid there. We don't want the ratings to be bad, but we already have the money and we're going to do what we can to help. And it's I don't want to say it's a backwards way of thinking, but it is similar to how Major League Baseball is, where you'll look at a Cincinnati Reds game or whoever it is and nobody's in the stands, and they'll get up there and say, oh no, Rob Manfred will say, oh no, we're fine. We have all these TV deals. We play 8,000 games. And we're not changing that because of the TV deals. There's no issue, but clearly if nobody is watching, there's an issue. Now, me personally, I'm more in the camp with you, Kyle. I hadn't watched the Kings in a couple days, and obviously they play tonight. Only 2 games last night. I think I am exactly who the NBA is looking for. I'm kind of fiending for something. There's only 2 games on. I caught the end of the Knicks Hawks, and then I watched Warriors Rockets, and it was great, and I don't really have a horse in the race, but I watched, and it is what it is. Would I have watched if other things were on, or if the Kings were on, whoever? Absolutely not. But there was nothing else on, so if it's down and there's nothing, now we'll see when these numbers come out. Because if it's down and there was nothing else to watch, that's different than them being down throughout the throes of the season, where your team, the Kings, are playing, and I think they tried to do it where all teams had the tournament games on the same day.
Well, yeah, they were all Tuesday, Friday.
Exactly. So they're basically weighing it against, even though what maybe wasn't a good matchup for your team, did you tune in anyway because it was an in-season tournament game?
Yeah, and I think the thing the NBA has going for it too in that sense is they already got the television contract, and it made me feel good to hear Sam say that this morning, kind of reaffirming what my hypothesis was the whole way, which is like Amazon already paid them for the rights to the Emirates Cup for the next, whatever it is, 11 years or something.
Yeah.
They already paid them for the rights, so there's no incentive to keep advertising it. My guess would be the ratings are going to be down versus last year. The question is just how much, because last year it was new. It had never been done before. They were working to try and get a television contract, so they were advertising that thing so much. I remember working Kings games last year. It was like every commercial break, there's an Emirates Cup. There were Emirates Cup ads on the station. There were those TV ads with the guy in Vegas and Anthony Davis trying to steal the trophy like all the time during the Emirates Cup. And this year there wasn't as much of that, I think, because there's not a financial incentive to do so. Like last year they were trying to get this thing sold.
They were trying to convince people.
Yeah, and now that they've already got it sold, it's going to be around for the next 11 years. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't excellent basketball. It doesn't have to be this, it's going to revolutionize regular season basketball kind of thing. I don't think it's going to be that anymore, but it still it gave us a reason to watch regular season basketball games that on a Friday night not everyone would have been watching. They specifically blocked out these 4 games, and all 4 games were excellent. I was watching on Tuesday the Magic and Bucks game, and the end of that fourth quarter was amazing. It was Jalen Suggs scored like 15 straight points for the Magic, and Damian Lillard scored the last 9 points for the Bucks, and it was back and forth and free throws and fouls, and it was so entertaining. And I think that's honestly just the best you could ask for, is just an entertaining basketball game with the slightest bit of stakes to it.
We will hear from Steve Kerr, the crazy Warriors-Rockets ending. And Steve Kerr is about to get fined, but it's probably worth it. Refs can't be eye guys, and I think we might have an issue with one of these referees. On the other side, then we talk about the Sam Amick survey. Sacramento Kings not getting a single vote in the best front offices in the NBA survey. Did they get snubbed, or is that right? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Christmas music is everywhere. The smell of gingerbread is in the air. And wait, what's that sound? It's Santa. He's headed back to Sacramento for the 41st Annual Santa Parade, December 14th in downtown Sacramento. Bring your entire family to the parade route around the Capitol for over 100 floats, including marching bands, pageant princesses, clowns, horses, and of course, Santa himself.
The 41st Annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 14th with Shriners Children's Northern California, Gurnick Academy, and the California Army National Guard. The fun begins at 10 a.m. Get more info at sacktownsports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA3 Weather Center, and wet weather. We've had some rain through the morning. Expect to have some more showers on and off again through the afternoon, with temperatures warming into the mid to upper 50s and winds from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
DC here, and if you've been thinking about a new car, don't miss year-end savings at Folsom Lake Kia. Hurry in for low payments and zero-down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia, over 25 years, right here in Folsom.
How was your job to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me, and
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Ooma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you from my good friends at American Energy. Look, it's already cold outside. It's only going to get colder. American Energy wants to help you stay warm and make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 tune-up inspection. Normally $119, $49 right now, and that includes a full safety and duct inspection. And check it out. If your system's over 10 years old, and I'll bet it is, the tune-up, yeah, it's free. It's free from a company that's been in business since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. Check their Yelp, check their Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. If you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The holiday driving season is here, and my good friends over at Jiffy Lube have an awesome holiday oil change special going on right now. Get a full synthetic oil change starting at just $76.99 with a $33 off coupon online. That's right, starting at just $76.99 for up to 5 quarts of full synthetic motor oil with the online coupon. Go visit jiffylube.com right now, find a location near you, and get that $33 off full synthetic oil change coupon now. Most vehicles are covered, especially vehicles and diesel or extra. You got to show the coupon for discount. See the store for details. Happy holidays from Jiffy Lube.
Get huge year-end savings on the all-new 2025 Silverado now at Maida Chevy.
With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates on select new 2025 half-ton Silverado LT and RST.
And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area.
$8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big. Huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Now available with special financing lease and some of their offers.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Good morning, beat freaks. Who's ready to move? Let's start this day right.
Tasha's morning dance parties are meeting rave reviews.
Lose your phones and find your groove.
They need an ops manager to help their community dance the morning away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Ba, 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 ba. Yep, 'tis the season. Hey, if you take pride in your gift giving, here's a great idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so Arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but you know they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now, and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift from the Good Feet store. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville, and in Reno on South Virginia Street.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. About to get into this survey, but I did want to play this audio from Steve Kerr because the question is how much is he going to get fined, and he doesn't care. I mean, if you're Steve Kerr, why would you care? There's just some people that you're gonna say what you want and it's worth it. First, we're gonna get to the phone lines 916-339-1140. Joey wants to be a part of the show. What's up, Joey? What you got for us?
Hey, good morning, Alan. Hey, so as far as this Monty McNair and this whole trade deadline or trades or, trades in the clouds or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So far, in the last past years that Monty, I feel that's been our manager, I don't feel like he wants to do anything big.
Yeah.
And I say that because I don't feel like he wants to disrupt any type of energy that's going on right now. So I feel that that's why he never tries to do anything big in the middle of the season, because anything that he could possibly do could probably have a setback as far as the team gelling together.
Mm.
That's just my thought. What do you think?
Yeah, thanks for the call, Joey. I might be, and I don't think I'm alone in this, but last season I gave Monty McNair pretty much a pass because when you haven't been to the playoffs in over a decade, it's really hard to break up a team that was essentially ascending, right? You take the Golden State Warriors to 7 games. It was kind of a changing of the guard. You thought, okay, well, next season, we're just going to improve on that. Harrison Barnes is not old. Harrison Barnes is going to improve. Keegan Murray is going to improve. At that time, Kevin Huerter was what? 25. He's going to improve. De'Aaron Fox was going to improve. Domantas Sabonis was going to improve. So Malik Monk was going to improve. So going into last season, I do believe that team earned a full season to see if they could take it to the next step and take it to the next level. So to your point, Joey, I strongly believe, and there were some conversations had about Kevin Huerter, Harrison Barnes, Trey Lyles, but I firmly believe that Monty McNair felt, hey, if I make a move here, and because at that time we don't know, right? We don't know that the Kings are going to end up a 9 seed and lose to the Pelicans 8,000 times, including to end their season. So if it's the trade deadline, let's say Monty McNair makes a move, I don't really care who it's for, and the Kings end up a 9 seed and lose to the Pelicans the same way they did, everybody is saying, why would you break up what this team did? It had only been 1 season. Then you gave them, what, half a season the year after, and then you break it up. So that's why I felt like Monty McNair was in a tough spot last season. So I do agree with you, Joey. This season, the conundrum is a little bit different because it's, well, there have been injuries. Well, how much time are these guys going to need to mesh? We don't know what this team is going to be. So Monty McNair, if he wanted, could say, look, these guys there's only been 25 games. These guys have only played what, including Malik, who missed about 7. These guys haven't even played 20 games as a full unit. Why am I going to make a move and blow it up and move off of a Keegan Murray or a Kevin Huerter who's playing really well in this bench role when we haven't seen it yet? So I think you're onto something, Joey. I would say that you have to, this is all Monty McNair and why he's in this position. You have to figure out in your heart of hearts, is this team going to be better than who they are right now, and what do you think that ceiling is?
I believe in Monty McNair.
If you think the ceiling is, and I would say everybody would be happy with Monty McNair if the King and Mike Brown and the Kings organization if you got to the second round.
I believe in Monty McNair.
I feel like that is a pretty safe assumption. You get to the second round with this group, and I don't think there are a lot of complaints. Obviously, you want to keep winning because that would mean that you lost in the second round, but I think everybody would say, man, that felt good to be back in the playoffs, go further than we did Beam Team season. We're back, baby. We're on the way up.
Monty McNair.
We're going to have to right now. If you don't get that far, then it becomes, man, why didn't Monty McNair see this? They were crawling to get back to 500 so early in the season. We're 25 games in. They've had some bad losses. So I can't answer that question. Only Monty McNair can. My initial thought is what I've been continuing to say. December's huge. And you might miss out. And I know we've had, is it Dwayne, who I think is Dwayne who always calls in? And if it's not Dwayne, sorry, Dwayne, I know you call in too, but I know there have been callers that have said, I don't want to wait. The Kings should not wait until the 5th or past the 15th, whatever it is. I do think that even though it's a seller's market, we read off all the names yesterday and we'll do it again today. There are a lot of available names and those prices could, they could vary. I don't know if a team is going to go after Dorian Finney-Smith and Cam Johnson. So if they go all in on Cam Johnson, you still have a Dorian Finney-Smith. If they go on Dorian Finney-Smith, you still have Cam Johnson. There's still a John Collins if you want to pay a little bit more. There's still a Jeremy Grant. There are a lot of names out there. It feels like the pool is bigger than last season. So I do think that they can afford, now talk to me if they lose tonight, but I do feel like they can afford to see how it plays out in December. We looked at the next 8 games and we said, hey, that 10th game, if we're counting the last 2, with them being 2-0, that 10th game, their last game of December, what happens if they're 8-2? What happens if they're 9-1? My line for really Monty McNair to be in a tough spot, whether you should make a move or not, is 7-3. If you're 7-3, I think that you could look at this and say, hey, they played some lesser opponents. They took care of business, but we have to see what we're missing, and that bench is a problem. It is. You can beat – you're supposed to win tonight. You're supposed to beat the Pelicans. So you look at that 10-game sample size to end the year, including these last 2 games of the 8 games left in the year, and they go 8-2, but they beat a bunch of bad teams. Monty McNair can say, hey, we're 8-2. I'm not going to mess things up, but you also have to look at who the heck they were playing. That's a big part of it.
Yeah, context is going to matter a lot over the next 8 to 10 games because it's going to be likely the first 8 to 10 game stretch with this group of 8 playing consistent minutes between the new starting 5, Herter off the bench, Isaac Jones, Keon Ellis, maybe mix in some Jay Crowder, maybe Trey Lyles comes back, but that group of 8 to 9 is probably pretty consistent now, and they've had 4 days off now, so we'll see. This is context is going to matter, not just sticking a number on the record and saying this is where our team is right now.
And real quick, just to give some of the teams, so the teams that they just played, the Spurs, who they finally beat, and so this is the 10. Spurs, no Wembanyama or Devin Vassell. Jazz, they're the Jazz.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're going to get the G League Pelicans.
Sort of.
All right. They've had less.
Yes.
But
they're still the worst team in the NBA.
Yes. We'll go over the list of everyone they're missing. Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Jose Alvarado, Jordan Hawkins. The list goes on and on. So that's your 3 games. Nuggets, that's legit, even though they might not have Jamal Murray. You play the Lakers 3 times. 3 times. You play the Pacers, who are okay this season.
They're worse than the Kings.
You play the Pistons, who people don't want to disrespect the Pistons, but they're not a juggernaut by any stretch. They're still the Pistons, just with Tobias Harris. And last but not least, that December 30th game, you play the Mavericks, who have been red hot. So you go 8-2 in that stretch, and you can feel good about it, but you didn't beat a bunch of world beaters there. Right now, they're 2-0.
Yeah, but you would have had to beat somebody.
You would have had to either, unless you lose, you would have had to either lose to the Nuggets and Mavericks, and you sweep the Lakers, which I would call impressive.
Oh, that would be hugely impressive.
I would call that impressive. Or you lose to the Lakers a game, and you lose to the Mavericks, but you beat the Nuggets. Or you lose to the Lakers, lose to the Mavericks, but you beat the Nuggets. So going 8-2 would be impressive. I agree. Is it impressive enough to say, yeah, we're not going to make a move? Because by January, I do feel that this is going to be different than last season, where there was a lot of smoke and mirrors. And look, Pascal and OG finally got moved.
Yeah.
I do think some of those, and we talked about this, the Kuzmas and the Jeremy Grants, the guys that it's their turn now. The guys that have been in conversation for years, just like last year was finally the year OG and Pascal got moved. I think this is the year for the Jeremy Grants and the Kyle Kuzmas. Maybe not all of them, but some of these guys are going to get
one
moved.
of these teams, whether it's Brooklyn, Portland,
Cam
or
Johnson,
Washington,
Dorian Finney, some of these guys are getting moved.
One of those teams is going to commit to the full, we're going to be bad for 2 years.
Yes, because they're going to have to.
Yeah, I have a feeling one of them is going to make a commitment. Or they'll do the weird, we're half in, half out, but we got a good deal we couldn't refuse thing, which is kind of where Utah's been. And I expect Utah to kind of do the same thing. It's like, we could tear it down, but we could also just keep it together.
Yeah.
Who knows? You don't.
Well, we do know that Steve Kerr is going to get a fine. We're going to play this audio and have some fun with it. And then we're going to get to the Sam Amick survey because the Kings not listed as a best front office in the NBA. Yikes. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Tonight, Kings and Pelicans. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings is Sacktown Sports 1140.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-5795. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
At Makita, good enough is never enough. It's not just about the power and runtime of the tool. It's about the power and runtime of the pro. We design, tinker, redesign, and obsess over every detail because we know the pros will too. Straight cuts, tight tolerances, clean lines. Again and again and again. If it's not right, don't put your name on it. Makita, available at the Home Depot.
Merry Christmas from Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and we're still celebrating Black Friday all month long. When buying a car, getting a good deal, it's kind of the easy part. Where Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram really sets themselves apart from anywhere else is the experience, from sales to service and everything in between. It's why so many people keep coming back to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's because it's the place where a handshake still means something. And if you've been wanting to experience that Jeep life, there's no better time than now. SacSuperstore.com, located off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course.
Here comes Floyd, throw over the middle, intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Be there December 30th for Monday Night Football at Levi Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers face the Detroit Lions.
20, one block and he's in.
It's the final regular season home game of the campaign and presented by SAP.
Touchdown!
Tickets are available now. Secure your seats today at 49ers.com/tickets.
San Francisco!
It's not your average holiday season. Hold on to your hard hats because starting Monday, December 13th, Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet is unwrapping the biggest power tool sale Sacramento has ever seen. We're turning up the heat with 12 days of unbeatable prices on all your favorite Makita products and much more. Free batteries with tools, free tools with batteries, and bare tools starting at just $99. Come on down and give us a visit at 6701 Power and Road in Sacramento, or shop our Christmas deals online at fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet. Better tools, better prices. Hey, it's time to open up your calendar app for some incredible live events coming your way. This is the Sacktown Sports Live Events Calendar, bringing you the hottest shows in town. Kick off 2025 with country superstars Dylan Scott and Jackson Dean. They're hitting the stage at Thunder Valley on January 10th for a night of hot country hits. Then on January 11th, laugh until your sides hurt with comedy legend Bill Engvall. He's performing live at Thunder Valley, a show you won't want to miss. And the one and only Justin Timberlake is bringing electrifying energy to the Golden One Center on January 15th. This is your chance to see an icon in action. For a more intimate vibe, catch Bryce Vine at Ace of Spades on January 25th. It'll be an unforgettable night of alternative hip-hop. And finally, looking ahead to February 20th, Old 60 lights up Ace of Spades with their unique blend of rock and soul. Get your tickets now because these shows will sell out fast. For details and updates, visit SacktownSports.com. And stay tuned. This is your ticket to the best live entertainment in the 916, the Sacktown Sports Live Events Calendar.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. What's happening for the Wrap Up the Year sales event?
We're giving you a head start on next year with up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s, starting as low as $36,325.
Wow. You guys are always looking forward.
Not only do we have great deals on new Ram trucks, the Hoblet Family Dealers is growing with a huge selection of used cars at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter, with over 220 vehicles available and over 45 under $20,000.
Now more than ever, Hoblet needs to be your first stop when you need a new or used car. Search, select, and save through our whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection, nobody beats Hoblet, period. $16,000 total net savings on select new Ram 1500 models after $10,500 factory rebates and $5,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include $1,500 Chrysler Capital bonus cash. Must finance through Chrysler Capital qualify. $500 business upfit, business ownership, and $500 upfit required. And $2,000 Ford Conquest cash. Must own or lease a Ford, no trade-in required. 10th is net savings. $36,325 sample VIN 544890. See dealer for details.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 11:40 a.m. Allen Stiles taking you up to 2 p.m. Kyle Ledbetter behind the glass for us today. Okay, I want to play this Steve Kerr sound from last night because I love when coaches just let it rip. If you didn't see the game last night, basically the Warriors, they made a ton of mistakes. They couldn't score a basket, and Steph takes a shot. They were up 1. Steph takes a 3. He misses the 3. GP2 gets the rebound. He ends up on the ground. For some bizarre reason, GP2 tries to pass it. Somebody said that he tried to call a timeout, but it wasn't very obvious, at least to everybody initially watching. GP2 decides to pass the ball, tries to pass the ball, and I believe it's Jalen Green who ends up on the ground with the ball. Kuminga reaches over. It's a loose ball, and you have Bill Kennedy, the referee, calls a loose ball foul, and the Warriors or the Rockets were in the bonus. The Rockets make 2 free throws. The Warriors had about 3 seconds left to try to do something, but
yeah, it was one of those stereotypical, like, both guys are on the ground and usually they call a timeout.
And they were trying to call a timeout. Yes, the Rockets were trying to call a timeout. Instead of getting the timeout, they got a foul call. And Jalen Green nails both free throws, and the Rockets are going to Vegas, and the Warriors are going home. Steve Kerr had this to say about that ending. Here it is.
I've never seen that. I think I saw it in college one time, 30 years ago. Never seen it in the NBA. That is, unconscionable. I don't even understand what just happened. Loose ball, diving on the floor, 80 feet from the basket, and you're going to give a guy 2 free throws to decide the game when people are scrambling for the ball. Just give them a timeout. Give them a timeout and let the players decide the game. That's how you officiate, especially because the game was a complete wrestling match. They didn't call anything. Steph Curry got hit on the elbow, plain as day, on a jump shot, just clubbed right on there, no call. So you've established you're just not going to call anything throughout the game. It's a physical game. We're going to call a loose ball foul on a jump ball situation with guys diving on the floor with the game on the line. This is a billion-dollar industry. You got people's jobs on the line. I am stunned. I am stunned. I give the Rockets credit. They battled back. They played great defense all night. But I feel for our guys. Our guys battled back, played their asses off, and deserved to win that game, or at least have a chance for one stop at the end to finish the game. And that was taken from us by a call that I don't think an elementary school referee would have made, because that guy would have had feel and said, you know what, I'm not going to decide a game on a loose ball 80 feet from the basket.
Yeah, how much? How much? Are you taking Venmo, cash, credit, whatever? I'll just what do you want, NBA? That's Steve Kerr. He does not care.
It's like Katie said during the Kings broadcast. It's the season of giving across the NBA.
That's right. But it was a terrible call.
Frankly, insane.
Insane. Elementary school
Frankly,
referee.
Insane.
So, and it was a terrible call. And look, man, this is the guy. If you don't know who we're talking about, how do I describe it? Well, you can Google it if you're not driving. But Bill Kennedy is the ref, and he's the ref when you're watching a black dude. He kind of has an old school look to him. Kind of looks like he could be in the Temptations. That's what he looks like to me. And every time he loves being the ref that explains things.
Yeah.
I wish and Kyle, maybe we can find a cut of him just saying a call, because it's all about him. He's always got a little wry smile. And in that moment, Bill Kennedy wanted it to be about him. And it was. And again, I don't know, it doesn't really matter, the 2-minute report. We're not going to get into all that whenever it comes out. But because it might actually be because Kuminga did kind of reach over, but it's one of those things, and Steve Kerr said it, because those refs would have a feel on the situation. But this guy, you probably know exactly who I'm talking about. He looks like he's in the 5 Heartbeats or the Temptations. And every time he makes a call, it's the most important thing in the world. He's got his sleeves kind of rolled up. He's got a medium shirt on like he's Allen Stiles. This is who this guy is. Did you find something?
I'm looking for some stuff, but
okay.
People know who Bill Kennedy is.
You know who he is.
I mean, and I honestly, I could not disagree with you more. I love Bill Kennedy so much. He's my favorite referee because all these referees don't do anything interesting. Like the fact that
But they're not supposed to, Kyle.
But they're
not refs.
But this is funny. Like Bill Kennedy giving the explanations of calls and like having personality to it.
He thinks it's about him.
Here's one real quick. This is one of his most viral ones where he is announcing a call and knows that the boos are coming.
Okay.
The coach's challenge has been deemed successful.
Staring into the camera.
The personal foul has been overturned to an offensive foul.
He's staring at the camera.
I love it.
No.
Every time I tell you,
Okay, but you can love that. But you have to be able, look, and I know this better than anyone, you got to be able to turn it off. Okay, if I I went to my brother-in-law's birthday party, right? And they wanted to have some fun. There was a piñata. We were all just having a great time. And my little sister says, it was obviously her husband's birthday. Hey, Alan, swing the piñata, right? And everybody knows, played baseball a long time ago. I don't want to swing the piñata, because I don't want it to be about me. Now, did I eventually swing the piñata? Yes, because they asked me to, and I busted the piñata open. But I did not want it to be about me. It's not about me in that moment. And if he wants it to be about him, in different, like you said, Kyle, I will actually agree with you. Fine. I don't have a problem if you want to have some fun and look into the camera when you make a call and placate to the fans. Fine. But you got to learn how to turn it off. Did you see where he was standing on that foul call?
Yeah.
He was not even near. He wasn't even near it. Yeah. What are you doing?
Oh, I get that. I just meant in that case, I'm just like every referee does that. And Bill Kennedy's one of the referees who gets consistent like playoff matchups and finals games. Like he's clearly one of the best. And this happens to literally all of them. How many times have we come
They
up
don't
here?
all look in the camera.
No, but it makes...
And wink. I saw a wink.
But it doesn't make him more or less likely to be part of one of these controversial endings.
I think it does. I think he says, hey, it's my time. It's my time. And he was hoping he would get challenged so he could go to the screen.
Review. The play has been ruled a common foul. Although we are in the penalty, it will be a 2-shot foul.
You know what? I'm going to talk to my agent about getting Bill some voiceover work.
That's Ian Eagle on the Brooklyn broadcast.
It's ridiculous.
I love him so much. I've worked over 100 Kings games now on the station over the last 3 years. Every time I see that Bill Kennedy is assigned, I just get a smile on my face. I'm always made so happy when Bill Kennedy is.
And I'm pretty sure he's made some bad calls against the Kings. I think I recall that from Rob from Rancho. He says, if you're a real NBA fan, you know who Bill Kennedy is. He's pretty good with the challenge explanations, but he's also become a little fond of the attention. Yeah, little. Come on, this guy thinks it's all about him.
I love Bill Kennedy so much. I will not take Bill Kennedy slander on this air. Even though he completely messed up the call last night, I will not take Bill Kennedy slander.
That's what I want. I want him to come out, and maybe he has already. Where is the pool report where Kennedy says, I messed up? Because he can't wait to say it. Hey, guys, this one's on me. It's all on me. Please follow me. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel.
All right,
as I explain all this.
Here's the pool report question last night. For those that don't know, the referees get like 1 or 2 selected reporters to ask questions after the game. Question: why was a loose ball foul called on a scramble situation 80 feet from the basket in the final seconds?
That's quite the question.
Kennedy: the defender makes contact with the neck and shoulder area.
No, you got to say it in Bill Kennedy voice.
I got to be careful with some of those things. I'm just saying.
That's also fair.
The defender makes contact with the neck and shoulder area, warranting a personal foul to be called.
Ridiculous. And he looked at. Are there any cameras? Can you pull your phone out while I answer this? Go on IG Live. Go on TikTok Live.
Pretty straight to the point. He gave you the explanation.
You should have saw his face. I can see his face right now, just imagining it. 916 says, I watch NBA games so I can hear Bill Kennedy describe a ref decision. It's my favorite part of the game. Sarcasm.
It's not my favorite part of the game, but it's like a little treat. He only comes every 5-6 times a year between the ref rotations. So anytime there's Bill Kennedy, I'm always made happy when he's on the Kings.
The defender makes contact with the player in the neck, shoulder area, warranting a personal foul. Wink, wink. Hello there, ladies. I'm single. I'm done. I'm done with Bill Kennedy. All right. Seems like a lot of the league might be done or isn't feeling the moves that the Sacramento Kings have made. We get into Sam Amick's survey of the best front offices in the NBA on the other side. Should the Kings have gotten a shout? Did they get snubbed? Or did they get what they deserve? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
A common foul. Although we are in the penalty, it will be a 2-shot foul.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, and guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Rock the Bells presents LL Cool J.
So bet you got Chanel on your feet. Hot sex on a platter makes the mission complete.
Live in concert. LL Cool J. Saturday, January 18th. The venue at Thunder Valley with DJ Z-Trip. LL Cool J. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss LL Cool J live.
Dunks, threes, buzzer beaters. There's so much NBA happening. I gotta keep up.
Easy there. There's a better way to NBA with the NBA app.
Wait, really?
Follow your favorite teams and the league's brightest stars. Be on the ball with real-time stats and scores.
Yeah?
And go behind all the drama with new docs and shows.
Are you kidding?
Catch every swish, dunk, and bucket. All of this, all in one place, all for free.
Thank you.
There's a better way to NBA. Download the app today. Available on the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back. May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. It's Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Good Guys Heating and Cooling. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Maida Chevy sends you $8,000 off MSRP on new 2025 half-ton Silverado LT and RST after rebates. Year-end savings on now with $8,000 off new Silverados at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
1 hour down, 3 to go. In an hour, we will be joined by the Sacktown Sports Kings insiders, Brenden Nunes and lead editor Frankie Cartoscelli. And we will ask them about where Monty McNair and the front office lands on Sam Amick's list. We do have some news to go through, though, as we work our way through this beautiful, beautiful Thursday. A little bit of rain this morning or last night, but it's looking pretty good right now. This Santa parade, I don't know what's going to happen. Apparently, it's supposed to rain again, so I need to talk to the powers that be, and it's supposed to be me and Mr. Kyle Draper, so I need to figure out, is this rain or shine? Because your boy don't really like the rain. Cold and rain is not necessarily how I get down, but hey, we made a commitment. We'll be there if it is. Yeah. Thank you. Uh-huh.
Man, I sure do hate the snow.
Mm-hmm.
Feet are froze and my toes are too.
Uh-huh.
I hate.
Whoa! Thank you, mailman from Hey Arnold. I wanted to get to this from, and a lot of people are reporting this, but our own Jay Johnson reporting it as well. Beginning summer 2025, Sacramento will host the next 3 years of the Summer X Games. Events will be held at the same place California State Fair occupies yearly, the Cal Expo Fairgrounds. So X Games are coming. I have a couple things, and we have so much to get to. But number one, I think I've told everyone the story about when the first X Games happened in San Francisco, and I tried to take my inline skates because I was playing inline hockey and go down a half pipe, which I had never done before. I was 11 years old. I fell face first. I skated away, never went down a half pipe again. So I had to, every time I think about the X Games, I was big. Tony Hawk, all these guys,
From
Dave Mira, RIP. I was huge on Bucky Lassick. All these guys growing up, I was watching them. I was trying to emulate them. That's what I wanted. So I will probably make it out to one of these X Games. I do have an interesting thing that I've always thought about. A lot of people have hobbies, right? And you might be in your 40s and you still play basketball. Nobody really thinks of it any type of way, but is there anybody out there that is above? Is there an age limit on skateboarding, not as a form of transportation, but for fun, right? At what point do you stop shredding? Is it a young man's game? Because I have a buddy who skateboards. He's a couple years younger than me. He's in his 30s, and he'll still hit the skate park, things like that. I would hope that you can do what you want forever, but I do think that skateboarding has a young man's connotation, and I'm just curious, is there anybody out there that skateboards that's 35 and up, and how does you tell your wife, hey, why is it that telling your wife, hey, I'm going to go play pickup basketball when there's no chance you're going to the league when you're 40 years old and 5'8"? Why is it that that's okay and society won't look at you sideways? But if you're 40 years old and you say, hey, I'm going to go shred a little bit, somebody might say, who do you think you are, Tony Hawk? You're 40 years old. Okay, so I am not a skateboarder. However, I am the closest thing to a young man's game that we're talking about here. So here's what I'll say. When I was in 5th or 6th grade, skateboarding was just a totally normal thing that like a lot of people did. By about 9th grade, you kind of decide if you're about that life or if you're hanging it up. By about 9th grade, you know who the skateboarders are and who's not. Because when you're in 5th or 6th grade, it's like, or when you're, I guess we'll say when you're 10, 11, 12, it's like,
oh, skateboarding is like a little dangerous, fun thing to do, and all my friends are going to get skateboards and all that, and you'll have the tech decks and all that stuff.
I had them all.
Yeah, and then by about the time you become a freshman in high school, you've kind of either outgrown the skateboarding or you're about that life. And then by the time I was a freshman in college, there was this one guy who was always the nicest guy in the world who would always just be skateboarding outside of our dorm, and it's like, yeah, that's your thing, man. Skateboarding was like his version of basketball.
That's what I'm saying. Look, I tore my Achilles playing basketball. What was that? Over a year ago, and I have essentially hung them up. Right? When do you hang up the Spitfires, okay, or the whatever skate shoes that you got? When do you hang those up, or do you ever? But the X Games coming to Cal Expo the next 3 years, starting in summer 2025. You'll catch me out there. I will not be on the half pipe, though. You will not.
We got to do a show from out there.
I would love to do a show from out there, and we're going to work on that right now. I'm going to go down to the sales during this next break.
We're right down the street. We could walk to Cal Expo if we wanted to.
Or we could skateboard. Or we could skateboard.
That would be better.
There you go. Well, no one is pushing the Sacramento Kings into the best front offices of the NBA. Sacramento Kings did not get a single vote in Sam Amick's survey of the best front offices in the NBA. They polled 40 executives who are either first, second, or third people in charge of their organizations to rank their top 5. 21 different organizations received at least one first, second, third, fourth, or fifth place vote. Here are the 9 teams who did not get a single vote: Portland, Detroit, Phoenix, Los Angeles, Chicago, Atlanta, Charlotte, New Orleans, last but not least, Sacramento. Based on what they've done, what they're continuing to do, of course, when we look at the top teams with the most amount of votes, Oklahoma City number 1, no surprise there. Boston Celtics number 2, no surprise there. Miami Heat number 3. That might be a lot about their drafting, to be completely honest.
I just think that from top to bottom, they're super well run. It's basically 5 people in charge. Everyone knows Pat Riley, but there's also Mickey Arson's son and the general manager, whose name I'm forgetting now, but he's been there for like 25 years. Like they've got a really well-run ship. I think Alonzo Mourning is part of the decision-making there. They've got a really well-run ship there.
Udonis Haslem is somewhere out there, somewhere. Number 4, the Memphis Grizzlies. That's a young team, man. That's a young team, and they got some pieces, and they're looking to make a move. Their name has popped up a lot. Number 5, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Number 6, the New York Knicks. Number 7, the Orlando Magic. Number 8, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Number 9, the Golden State Warriors. And number 10, the San Antonio Spurs, as they really change this thing year to year, and based on whoever kind of balls out. This is how the article starts. Every year since 1973, one NBA general manager or team president has been named the league's executive of the year. The award is certainly an honor, but also short-sighted. It rewards a decision maker who's having a good year and is prone to recency bias. It does not necessarily reward long-term savvy or even immediate success. Since 2009, when the NBA took over the process and crowned the winner by polling league executives, its winner has come from the championship team just 4 times. Being a great executive is complicated. It takes skill, smarts, guts, and yes, luck. Putting together one great year is difficult. Putting together a run of them is even harder. Sometimes great work is easy to spot. One big move can swing a title, but it can also be a succession of transactions, grinding out small wins on the margins that net out big rewards over time. So as I read the teams that got those votes: OKC, Boston, Miami, Memphis, Minnesota, New York, Orlando, Cleveland, Golden State, San Antonio. There were other teams receiving votes: Indiana, Houston, Philadelphia, Utah, Dallas, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Toronto, Washington, Denver, and the Clippers. For the Kings to not even get a vote. 21 different organizations received at least one first, second, third, fourth, or fifth place vote. 9 teams didn't get a single vote. And this is not just based on this season. That's literally what Sam Amick wrote. It's based on a body of work. Sacramento, Portland, Detroit, Phoenix, Los Angeles Lakers, Chicago, Atlanta, Charlotte, and New Orleans. Those are some bad teams. So Portland is building. Detroit is building. Phoenix, that's surprising, but their bench has been a bit thin. But Phoenix is surprising. Lakers, not terribly surprising. Chicago, don't know what they're doing. Atlanta, don't know what they're doing. I guess they're building, even though their timelines don't make a ton of sense. Charlotte, not sure what they're doing either. They just have LaMelo. And New Orleans, definitely don't know what they're doing. So for Sacramento to be in that group, that's not a great group, right? I think that the three teams that probably don't want to be in that group, Sacramento, Phoenix, and Los Angeles, the Lakers. What does that say? To me, it says that teams don't know what to do with DeMar DeRozan. Because the Sabonis thing happened a couple years ago, and everybody, there have been so many moves made since then. So I don't think that's being counted that much. It tells me that this is one of the biggest acquisitions that the Sacramento Kings have made. So for the Sacramento Kings to not get a single vote tells me that these teams and these execs either weren't high on the DeMar DeRozan move or are not high on DeMar DeRozan. Because for them to make a move like that and not get one vote is kind of wild. It's pretty wild. Yeah,
especially given that line that Sam had at the very start, which is like being a front office is incredibly complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the point that Monty McNair won Executive of the Year in 2023.
That's right.
And 18 months later or 20 months later.
They don't even get a vote.
Yeah, the survey was from October to November. So call it 18 months later. All of that good grace is worn away, which one is why I think those Coach of the Year and Executive of the Year awards are ridiculous, but also it's interesting to see that the good graces have almost worn off. And not even so much like the Sacramento Kings have done something terribly wrong at this point. It's like those awards are just for incredibly short periods of time. That's not a great measure of perception of a front office. Hence, Toronto only got 2 fifth-place votes. They got 2 total points, which means they got 2 fifth-place votes. And if we did this survey in 2023, how many people would have said Masai Ujiri and the Raptors are the best of the best front office? And they're a top 5 without question. Like those reputations change so quickly.
Yeah. I probably in 2023, Monty McNair's the hot GM name.
And case in point, Memphis finished 4th with 64. Their front office won Executive of the year before Sacramento. I forgot the name of their general manager now, but they won Executive of the year before, and their good graces have still held water all this time later. Hence that they're ranked ahead of, Minnesota, Minnesota might be strange to some people, but Tim Connolly, the guy who runs the Timberwolves now, built the Nuggets championship. He just left before they won the championship. So someone who built a champion in Denver, Cleveland, who has the best record in the league, Golden State, obviously Bob Myers is gone, but Golden State and San Antonio, who have built semi-recent champions. Like, it's interesting to see how Memphis has held on to their reputation, but not so much Monty McNair in Sacramento for when they won Executive of the Year.
Basically, it comes down to teams wanting to be in one extreme or the other. You're either in a great position to possibly win a championship, or you are building from the ground up. And it's a bit surprising that Golden State got a couple votes. I think that's because people are high on Kuminga, Pajemski, and they did have a really good offseason. DeAnthony Melton gets injured, but people really liked what they did this offseason. As far as the other teams that I mentioned, okay, that probably don't want to be on this list, there are teams that you don't know what they're doing, right? So because if Brooklyn gets votes, that's because, hey, Brooklyn is building. We know they're supposed to stink.
And Sean Marks has been there for a decade and has a reputation.
Right. So if Utah building, Dallas just recently had a finals appearance, Milwaukee championship a couple years ago, Toronto building, Washington building. So basically the teams that did not get votes, to me, most of them are in no man's land. New Orleans, what the bleep are you doing with Zion and Brandon Ingram? Portland, I guess Portland, they kind of got a raw deal. I mean, you would think Portland, Detroit, probably feel like they should be building in that building category.
Teams that are either firing their general manager or contemplating firing their general manager.
So those teams probably are like, dang, we can't get any building votes. But then you have the no man's land. Charlotte, no man's land. New Orleans, no man's land. Phoenix, underachieved, so they could make a move, but kind of no man's land. Los Angeles Lakers, no man's land. Chicago, no man's land. Atlanta, no man's land. And Sacramento. We don't know what to do with y'all.
Or for a couple of those teams, I think they're in their first year with a new general manager.
Right.
So it's like you haven't really done anything yet.
All right. We got to get to break. We should have got to break a little bit ago, but we were in the throes of it because it's time. Kyle doesn't want to do it, but Kyle doesn't have a choice. It came out earlier today from heavy.com. An anonymous exec says, hold on a minute. Why isn't LeBron just going up north? The king to join the Kings. We talked about that possibility. An anonymous exec said it should be talked about more. We break it all down. We hear from you. It's time to open up the phone lines. You want LeBron on the Kings? What if it costs you everything? Like Thanos. Would you still want it? Let's have some fun. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Good morning, beat freaks. Who's ready to move? Let's start this day right.
Tasha's morning dance parties are meeting rave reviews.
Lose your phones and find your groove.
They need an ops manager to help their community dance the morning away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Oh, yeah. We are rocking and rolling here. And I can't wait to do this. I know Kyle can. But unfortunately, he doesn't have a choice.
Yeah, Allen's going to lock me in the trade dungeon.
That's right. So basically, an article came out from Steve Bulpett. And this came out earlier today. It's been picked up. Steve Bulpett wrote this article for heavy.com. And long story short, he is talking to an anonymous exec, and this anonymous exec had something to say that we have never heard about before, or at least not in the recent past. And this is what basically went down. There has been speculation of late that the Lakers might be willing to bite the bullet and open trade conversations on LeBron James, but that's going to be his call ultimately. A league exec believes that is becoming increasingly realistic. Here's the quote. Now that LeBron has had his chance to play with Bronny and have that be a part of his legacy, he has to assess this team, he told Heavy. I think he's finding that team wanting, which makes a lot of people around the league think he might finally be open to a trade to play somewhere else that's championship level. The question is, how can you make that trade? There's only a few teams where his delivery brings them from the second plateau to the top. But it's hard, if not impossible, for teams like that to take his contract. Some usual top-tier teams are being mentioned. This is now Bullpet kind of writing this. Some usual top-tier suspects are being mentioned, but salary cap and apron restrictions make most of them non-starters. One source did have an interesting thought, however. Here's the quote. The one place that I don't hear a lot of talk about with LeBron James is Sacramento, he said. He could change them, and they might have the kind of assets to make a trade work. They have a lot of young talent, and because they're small market, they haven't spent like drunken sailors. They have some draft picks, a young talent. If they could get to the salary, LeBron would take De'Aaron and Domas and elevate the hell out of them, particularly Fox. With that threesome, those guys could be a force, and it would come at a fairly minimal disruption for James, who knows his way around private jets. He could live in LA and play in Sacramento, no doubt about it, the exec said. Now, as that comes out, literally as that comes out, a couple hours later, Evan Siddery is reporting that Keegan Murray remains a player the Kings are not comfortable putting on the table in trade talks. That is from Evan. He posted that a little over an hour ago. Sacramento, he says, who refused to put Murray in trade negotiations with the Jazz for Lauri Markkanen last offseason, continues to view Murray as a key core piece for their future. All right, Kyle. And maybe you've been working on it already. I don't know if you have. You got to go into the dungeon.
Okay. Do I have to?
You have to.
Okay. Before Allen banishes me to the dungeon, let me just say I disagree with all of this. This is ridiculous. There's a typo in the guy's quote from an anonymous executive. He cited LeBron's willingness to go because he's, quote, familiar with private planes.
He is. This is all facts.
What is he, Taylor Swift now?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
He's flying 40 minutes for Anyways, Allen's about to shut the cell door on me, but I just want to object to all of it.
All right, Kyle, see what you can cook up. And look, the bottom line is there's going to be more. I mean, we're talking Devin Carter, Keegan Murray, and when the Kings say they're not comfortable, does that mean, I know we're talking about LeBron right now, but if Brooklyn wanted Keegan and you could get Dorian Finney-Smith and Cam Johnson, would the Kings still not budge on Keegan Murray? Look, man, nobody is replaceable in any job you have. I'm not irreplaceable. Whoever you are, whatever you're doing, you're not irreplaceable. That's just the way of the world. And I don't believe in the NBA anybody is untouchable. I think that you can say that based on what the market says your person is, but nobody is untouchable. So is the line that you believe more in Keegan than what LeBron might give you the next couple years? LeBron in Sacramento, whether he lives out here or not. LeBron, Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox. I don't know if maybe DeMar DeRozan would have to go to make money work. Kyle's going to tell us that in a second. Let's say that DeMar DeRozan, he gets to go home. He goes to L.A., and he finishes out his career in L.A., and the Lakers get a bunch of young pieces to build around. And LeBron basically takes DeMar DeRozan's spot, essentially. I think that's how that would have to work. And you have Domantas, De'Aaron, LeBron. Hopefully you can keep Malik. And after that, it's extremely top-heavy. But you figure it out. Would you be interested? 916-339-1140. Uh-oh. That was quick work. Wait. We got to get to a break. Let's get what you have, Kyle, on the other side. Rob, and Kyle's locked during the break. Rob, we see you. We'll get to you on the other side as well. What is it going to cost to get the King to play with the Kings? And do you even want him? Is he washed up? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Christmas music is everywhere. The smell of gingerbread is in the air. And wait, what's that sound? It's Santa. He's headed back to Sacramento for the 41st Annual Santa Parade, December 14th in downtown Sacramento. Bring your entire family to the parade route around the Capitol for over 100 floats, including marching bands, pageant princesses, clowns, horses, and of course, Santa himself.
The 41st Annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 14th with Shriners Children's Northern California, Gurnick Academy, and the California Army National Guard. The fun begins at 10 a.m. Get more info at sacktownsports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the San Francisco 49ers.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA3 Weather Center and wet weather. We've had some rain through the morning. Expect to have some more showers on and off again through the afternoon with temperatures warming into the mid to upper 50s and winds from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
Be there December 30th for Monday Night Football at Levi Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers take on Detroit. It's the final regular season home game presented by SAP. Tickets are available now. Secure your seats today at 49ers.com/tickets.
It's not your average holiday season. Hold on to your hard hats because starting Monday, December 13th, Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet is unwrapping the biggest power tool sale Sacramento has ever seen. We're turning up the heat with 12 days of unbeatable prices on all your favorite Makita products and much more. Free batteries with tools, free tools with batteries, and bare tools starting at just $99. Come on down and give us a visit at 6701 Power and Road in Sacramento or shop our Christmas deals online at fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet. Better tools, better prices. Ho, 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 ho. Looks like you made the ice list this year.
Santa, don't you mean the nice list?
No, ice, because Prestigio Jewelers carries all the ice you need.
For over 30 years, Prestigio Jewelers has offered in-house financing and fine jewelry. Guaranteed credit approval between $400 and $10,000 with no money down options. Make this Christmas season unforgettable. The perfect jewelry, the perfect price, helping you build perfect credit. With locations in Sacramento, Stockton, Merced, and Fresno, or online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is expanding. I guess you could say the Super Shop is getting more superer. That means more for you, more apparel, more equipment, more shoes, more gift ideas, more of everything you want. If you're looking for the right gift for the golfer in your life, let the friendly team of Hagen Oaks experts help you find the perfect gift. From golf bags to golf balls, from golf pants to golf shirts, from rain gear to golf gloves, Hagen Oaks has it all. And much is on sale. Visit the Hagen Oaks Golf Superer Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80, or find us at hagenoaks.com.
What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Kyle Draper for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. It's that time of year. You know what time of year it is. The Mercedes-Benz Vans year-end sales event is underway. Don't think twice because it's the perfect opportunity to take your drive to the next level. They're perfect for any business needs. Mercedes-Benz Vans, they offer a wide range of commercial vehicles. Trust me on this. They got Sprinter vans. You could turn it into a worker cargo van, a worker passenger van, or how about just a plain old passenger van? I could do that also. They're fully customizable. And one of the things I love about their Sprinter vans, I'm a big guy. I could fit in them comfortably. So now is the time to head down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. They can help you with all your van needs. Ask about customer cash and even special financing options. And business owners, now is the time to take advantage of those year-end tax breaks. So take the short drive down I-5 or go online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com and tell them your boy Drape sent you.
This holiday season, create a fun and joyful memory for you and your loved ones. Come light the world and help those in need through the Giving Machine. November 16th through January 1st at the Westfield Galleria Mall in Roseville and in Modesto at Valley Fair Mall. Choose from local charities serving your community or from global charities worldwide. Come feel the Christmas spirit at the Giving Machine. Learn more at givingmachine.greatersacramentomodesto.org.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
Ba, 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 ba. Yep, 'tis the season. Hey, if you take pride in your gift giving, here's a great idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but you know they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now, and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift from the Good Feet store. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville, and in Reno on South Virginia Street.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Kyle's locked up. Great call by Peg on the Sack Chat song request. Kyle's locked up. We're going to let him out now because he's done with his trade cooking. All right, Kyle. And by the way, Big Mac Attack on the Sack Chat is saying LeBron has a no trade clause. He would have to agree to this. He's got a full no trade clause. He'd have to say, I want to come to Sacramento in order for any of this to happen. So let's just assume he does. Easy enough.
Yeah, but an anonymous NBA executive told a guy for heavy.com.
That's right.
With a quote that also has a typo in it that LeBron James should consider going to the Sacramento Kings.
English is hard.
And now here we are.
All right.
Here we are. All right. So in the trade machine situation, we had to have a few terms here. One, LeBron James and Bronny James have to get traded to the Kings.
Great.
Two, we're going to operate under the assumption the Kings do not go over the luxury tax. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but to make it work, because the Lakers are already an apron team, the Lakers have to be taking on less money, but they also... It's very specific. So the money has to be within like $1 million.
Cool.
Blah,
Just
blah, blah.
Read the names, Kyle.
So the trade would be LeBron James and Bronny James to the Sacramento Kings in exchange for DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, Malik Monk, and draft compensation.
And what do we even think that draft compensation looks like?
I don't know, because the trade machine says the Kings would lose that trade.
Huh. So maybe 3 firsts?
I wouldn't go that high, but
2 firsts?
Yeah, sure. A first and a pick swap, whatever.
First and a pick swap.
No, who cares? The bigger point is just Keegan Murray, Malik Monk, and DeMar DeRozan. There's your stupid trade, okay?
Keegan Murray, Malik Monk, DeMar DeRozan.
So this would leave the Kings with a starting lineup of De'Aaron Fox, Keon Ellis, LeBron James, Trey Lyles, or Isaac Jones, and Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah, I don't think I can do that.
Yeah, no.
I can't do that.
And then off the bench, you would have Kevin Huerter, Jay Crowder.
You probably put Kevin Huerter back in the starting lineup.
I put Keon in there, but
yeah,
whatever. There's also a scenario where you could flip like Lyles for Gabe Vincent or something, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to waste any more time on this.
No, yes, we are. Yes, we are. You're not going to sneak out of that. All right.
This is a scenario where the Kings also are not in the luxury tax yet, so
Right.
we'll make that point as well. The Kings are not in the luxury tax by making this trade. They could take on more from the Lakers if they wanted, but I don't know if they want just Gabe Vincent as a throw-in.
From the 916, no, I'd rather this organization strive to be a perennial power instead of a flash in the pan that probably won't cook fully anyways.
But so many LeBron Kings jerseys.
I tell you what, I have a feeling ownership wouldn't mind having to sell some LeBron James King jerseys.
Oh, so much money.
There's a lot of money to be made there.
LeBron James isn't coming, but so much money.
I don't think I would do the deal, but it would be tough. Let's see here. 916 says no with 4 O's and 3 exclamation points. Ridiculous to sell your future for a year or two of a 40-year-old coach killer.
But 916, it's not ridiculous. A guy from heavy.com had a quote from an anonymous executive that had a typo in it, so it's not ridiculous at all.
Yeah, if he wins, it's because of him. If you lose, it's because of you. 916 says, your math isn't the best. Before we discuss draft picks, compensation could be tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, DeMar and Kevin, you're probably talking 3 to 4 picks for that old man. DeMar, then they say DeMar and Kevin, my apologies. Speech to text sucks. Well, I don't know why the math was off there, 916. Why don't you get your text figured out?
I don't know. I mean, I'd put Malik in there, but we could also put Herter in there. It doesn't make a
they
difference.
also a lot of 3 entities have to say yes. LeBron, the Kings, and the Lakers.
Which is why LeBron James is going to retire a Los Angeles Laker, because LeBron James wants to retire a Los Angeles Laker, and that is the end of it.
There's got to be somebody out there that would do this. I'm not crazy. And I wouldn't. But there's somebody out there that would. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Rob. Rancho wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Rob? What you got for us?
How's it going, guys? How you doing on this rainy day?
You know, I hate the rain, but we're going to power through.
Right, we got a Kings game tonight, so I mean, there's good things coming.
That's right, Rob.
So I couldn't help but call in because there's just so many things running through my head when we're talking about LeBron and trading for him. There was a time where I was like, I never want LeBron James anywhere near a Kings jersey. Then there was a time where it was like, oh, well, I mean, if we were going to give up a draft pick, why wouldn't you pick Bronny if you could get LeBron?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're talking $48 million to get a guy who's, I mean, I don't think he's, got nothing left in the tank. It's LeBron James, for gosh sake.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one thing you couldn't deny, if LeBron James came to the Kings, all of a sudden we would probably start getting calls. But, like the officials might give us a few more calls than they normally do.
Yep.
But then I think what you were saying is, I agree with one of the text people saying that you could do DeMar, Kevin Herter, and like 2 or 3 draft picks, but like first rounders. But then you're giving up 27, 28, and 2029 first round draft picks. And I mean, we were talking about it. Like, what's the time frame for this current squad? Is it 2 or 3 years, and then we're going to be looking at putting more pieces together? I don't think you'd want to give that much draft capital up for a guy like LeBron. So, I mean, I love LeBron. He would make the team better, but you'd have no bench, and we'd be anemic after the starting lineup. So that's my thoughts. Have a great one, guys.
Thanks for the call, Rob. The other thing is, too, there's, I guess, a conversation to be had. I feel like the last couple years, there haven't been that many guys, and I know Jay Crowder ended up signing with the Kings, but those guys that are just kind of hanging around waiting to join a contender, I think, and they'll play on minimums. I think that the Kings would get a couple of those guys to shore up their bench. Now, if they're Jay Crowder types, then how much are they really helping? But I do think, especially with the apron, would there be some younger guys maybe that want to be a part of what the Kings are doing in Sacramento? Ultimately, I don't see LeBron saying yes to this deal. I think it is a good shout, even though they tried to roast us on the math as far as, the Herter thing and more picks. But that really becomes, what do you value more? Keegan Murray and Malik Monk, or future picks that are in 8th grade that might be nasty? You know what I mean? I mean, that it's easy for, I think most fans are okay with saying bleep them picks because you don't have a connection to the picks. You have a connection to Keegan Murray and his personality. You have a connection to Malik Monk. So fans are always going to say bleep them picks, but that's not really how it works. So it's easy to say, just do a bunch of picks that we don't care about because you don't care about them. But Monty McNair has to care about them. And the front office has to care about them. So any way you spin it, probably not happening. It's possible. I can't believe we can't find somebody that doesn't want to do this, or that does want to do this. Nobody? Is there no one? All right, that's fair enough. LeBron can stay in LA, but when he goes to the Warriors, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear a word.
Because it's not going to happen.
I don't want to hear a word if he's in the blue and gold. I don't want to hear it because y'all didn't want him. I don't want to hear any complaining. Oh, the Warriors, they did this. I don't want to hear it. No, you didn't want LeBron. Okay, that's fine. Maybe it's just luck, and maybe the Kings are unlucky. Kyle has a stat for us that is going to illustrate maybe things can turn around, because they're not as bad as they seem. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Here comes Floyd, throw over the middle. Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Be there December 30th for Monday Night Football at Levi Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers face the Detroit Lions.
20, one block and he's in.
It's the final regular season home game of the campaign and presented by SAP.
Touchdown!
Tickets are available now. Secure your seats today at 49ers.com/tickets.
San Francisco!
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
It's better over here. If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has an exclusive rate plan just for you. Right now, get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, you can get one of the latest 5G phones free when you add a line. That's right, a free 5G phone. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. So why wait? At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Just go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 or visit your local store to make the switch.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Free phones up to $300 off with 24 monthly bill credits and qualifying new line for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Contact us before canceling entire account to continue remaining bill credits. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See details at T-Mobile.com.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, MediShare members like it a lot. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And MediShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before December 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 15th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
There's never been a better time than now to get yourself into a brand new Jeep because we're still celebrating Black Friday all month long at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And there's a reason people keep coming back because it's the place where a handshake still means something. Off Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. And Merry Christmas from Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. 916, a lot of people are chiming in on the LeBron convo. No to LeBron. Don't want or need La La Land vibe up here, and I'm tired of him getting everything he wants. In my opinion, he should retire and leave the game to the young guys. That is from the 916.
Don't the Kings have 2 players from Los Angeles?
Yeah, but it's different. It's different. Trey from the 510, shout out to 510, says, I would not do that trade because you mortgaged the future for basically just a 40-year-old LeBron. This is the same guy that wants to relinquish powers to Anthony Davis because he knows he's too old to be a difference maker at this point. LeBron wouldn't be enough. Plus, he doesn't play defense like he did.
They've been trying to relinquish powers to Anthony Davis for 5 years
want it
now.
He doesn't want it. And then they're going to try to move him to 4 because they're in conversations about getting Valanciunas. It's crazy. The 916 says, you want him? 3 question marks. Why? I didn't say I want him or not. I would say this. If you are able to hang on to Keegan Murray and Malik Monk, and picks are just picks, you could make this argument. How much do you believe that the Kings, let's say we play this whole thing out. I don't know where to put Keegan's ceiling now, but De'Aaron gets a little bit better. These guys make a couple, let's say they're doing what they continue to do. Maybe they make it to the playoffs, but they are not going to beat an OKC. They're not going to beat some of the elite teams. They're definitely not going to beat a Boston Celtics team. So being Sacramento and the background and the time that you've had over this last decade, couldn't you make the argument, yeah, we should probably try to be as good as possible right now, because if anybody knows how long it could take to get back here, it's the Sacramento Kings fan base. So I'm not saying there's 2 conversations about future. If you could do the deal and hold on to Malik Monk and Keegan Murray, and your picks until Rain Foxes of legal age are gone, I think that to me is more realistic than moving off of Malik Monk and Keegan Murray. I think that giving up a ton of picks, now, like I said, a GM is probably not going to see it that way. But as a fan, it's a bit surprising to me, and that's not the trade that we read off.
Yeah.
But if you did the other trade where it's DeMar, Kevin Huerter, and picks until Rain Fox is 18, it's a bit surprising to me that Kings fans wouldn't be more willing to do that.
Which raises the interesting question that I don't think NBA fans are really having at this point, because I think we're all still appreciating LeBron while it's happening. But what is the game plan for the Lakers after LeBron is gone?
But they don't have one.
But what do you think it is? Like, what in their minds, in Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss's head, I'm sure they've had these conversations before, or at least a good general manager would have had these conversations or thoughts before. Like, what do they think their plan is going to be once LeBron James does eventually hang it up? Because when it was Kobe, they just said, to hell with it. The last 3 years are going to stink, and the 3 years after are going to stink. Yeah,
but they're and that's why they didn't get any votes on Sam Amick's survey, because they're in no man's land.
Yeah, and everyone kind of knows who's running the Lakers.
Right, and if they don't trade LeBron, Rui Hachimura is going to be your guy, and Austin Reeves and Dalton Connect.
Well, they'll still have Anthony Davis, right?
But he's no spring chicken either.
No, but Anthony Davis has 7 years left of high-level basketball.
Okay.
He's going to make the All-Star team this year.
That's fine. That's this year. You said in the future.
Yeah, I think Anthony Davis is 30 right now. Jimmy Butler's 35. I think
that's not a normal 30. This is Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis is going to have 7 years of high-level basketball. I'm not saying he's going to be a number 1, not even saying he's going to be a number 2. He's got 7 years of quality basketball left.
All right, well, I wanted to throw to you, Kyle, and of course, LeBron, that conversation is going to continue to come up, but I wanted to throw to you, Kyle, for this Kings are just unlucky thing that you cooked up. What's going on here?
Yeah, so one of my favorite nerd stats is expected win-loss record, which is a Basketball Reference does this for every team, and it's essentially saying, based on NBA history and whatever the average this year is. So say like every game you're playing a league average opponent on a neutral court. If you're averaging this offensive rating and this defensive rating, what would your expected win-loss record be if you played every game against a normal opponent? It's very interesting to just kind of get a gauge of like, take circumstance and game situation out of it. What is your expected record supposed to be? Teams that play in a lot of like close games at the end are more likely to have wild fluctuations. The teams that are either getting consistently blown out or consistently blowing other teams out, their expected win-loss record is probably about the same as their normal record. But for the Sacramento Kings, it's interesting because in expected win-loss record, the Sacramento Kings are, according to Basketball Reference, expected at this point in the season to be 15-10. But in actuality, they're 12-13. And that difference of -3 between actual record and expected win-loss record is actually the worst differential in the entire Western Conference, which suggests that the Kings have either lost a lot of one-score games, but are blowing teams out, which obviously just happened recently. They blew out a couple teams, but lost a bunch of one-score games, or they've just been unlucky at the end of games. Like some strange circumstances come up that swung a game 4 points and they lost by 3 or something like that. So expected win-loss record is just one of those that's like, if you took game situation out of it, what would they be? And the Sacramento Kings actually are pretty unlucky this year based on having an offensive rating of, I'm just making sure I have the numbers right here, because they're 13th in net rating right now, but based on having an offensive rating that is 116.5, which is 7th in the league,
right,
and a defensive rating of 113.3, which is 13th in the league, the Kings have a net rating good for plus 3.2, essentially. So that's
top 10 in the NBA.
It's 11 right now.
Okay.
So they're 11, which according to expected win-loss record means they should be the 11th best team in the league, which means their record should be about 15-10, because that's what the 11th best team in the league would be right now, is 15-10. So it's saying that based on the Kings' net rating, they should have a better record than they do right now. So maybe it's just as an explanation we haven't considered. The Kings are just unlucky.
Sounds like they're not taking care of business. Sounds like they are tricking off games. That's what it sounds like to me.
Losing a lot of one-score games.
Yes. It sounds like they are not finishing the job. That's what it sounds like to me. Okay? They're not finishing the job. They're playing at a level where they should be better, but they're literally just getting in their own way. Losing to bad teams that they have no business losing to. And there are a couple other things that are a part of that. You know, you're missing guys, you're injured, you're trying to get back, you're trying to figure out what exactly it is that you're meshing into. So I get all that, but just some unforgivable games. I can tell you the games, Kyle. 15-10, it's right in front of your face. You got the Blazers. You got at least one of those other Spurs games. All right. You got multiple situations where, look, they are expected wins that they are not winning.
But even in that respect, the game that Fox drops 60, right? They lose in overtime to Minnesota. That game was super close. The Raptors game early in the season. That
game
goes to overtime.
The Nets game, no business losing that game.
Yep. But I think the net rating thing is not so much the games that you lose by 10 points. It's the games that you lose by 2 points is usually where you see that big swing. Because that's essentially like one shot could determine the difference. That Spurs game, the second one, where you still to this day are like, I don't know how they lost that game. They scored 42 points in the first quarter. Malik had just moved to the starting lineup. You still don't understand how they lost that game. 2-point loss. Overtime loss to Minnesota. Overtime loss to Toronto. They have big win. They won by 15 points against Toronto. They won by 17 against the Jazz earlier in the season, but they also lost opening night to the Timberwolves by 2, lost to the Lakers the second night of the season by 4. It's like they're losing a lot of games very close, but are also blowing teams out in wins. So their net rating is higher than where their record stands right now, which doesn't feel great to a Kings fan who's like, whatever, they're 12-13. But it's just interesting to classify it as, under normal circumstances, they would just be unlucky. I looked up what the standings would be right now if in the West, if expected win-loss record or net rating was ranked 1 through 15. And the Kings would actually be 7th in the West right now in expected win-loss record. But instead, they find themselves 12th. And that difference is by far the biggest of any team moving up or down in the league so far.
The Roundtable is coming at you next with our guys, Brenden Nunes and Frankie Cartoscelli. Don't go anywhere. If you got some questions, send them in the text line 916-339-1140 or in the Sack chat. They'll normally be in there with us as well. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Welcome to TGL presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer-dropping, overtime forcing, layoffs on the line golf. Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com and tune into the inaugural season beginning January 7th. Keep up. It's golf.
Pro Paint Days are back at Lowe's, and that means limited time savings on the paint pros need. Right now, save $15 on 5-gallon pails of HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams All-Purpose Power Primer. Plus, get it delivered to your job site with free same-day delivery when you order by 2 p.m. Visit us in-store or online today, because Lowe's knows paint. Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 12/20. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Welcome to TGL presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer-dropping, overtime forcing, layoffs on the line golf. Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com and tune into the inaugural season beginning January 7th. Keep up. It's golf.
The holidays are always a great time to get together with family and friends, but nothing beats the thrill of Stockton Honda's deals. During Happy Honda Days, find the perfect ride in person or online. With over 400 new Hondas ready to go, now is the time to buy at Northern California's #1 Honda deal, Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number 1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sell on report.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. It's Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Good Guys Heating and Cooling. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting their focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
At Makita, good enough is never enough. It's not just about the power and runtime of the tool. It's about the power and runtime of the pro. We obsess over fit, finish, and feel. Every detail, from coatings to contours, all to create tools that won't hold you back, so you can build more and never settle. If it's not right, don't put your name on it. Makita, available at the Home Depot.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, reminding you that every deal at Folsom Lake Ford is a slam dunk. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, including America's best-selling truck for over 47 years, Ford F-Series, plus a huge selection of Broncos, Bronco Sports, and all of Ford's award-winning SUVs at FolsomLakeFord.com. Listen, I know a great play when I see one, and if you want to save on a new Ford, you gotta drive the lane straight to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with 0 down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest financing, and Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. So hurry to Folsom Lake Ford, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they're my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop them online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Ready for winter? Forecasters are already predicting record sick days. Don't become a healthcare statistic. Fight sickness with fitness. Create a daily workout and stick to it. Let the Good Feet store help you meet your workout goals. With Good Feet Arch Supports, the pain in your feet, knees, hips, and back become history. And Good Feet Arch Supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Visit goodfeet.com for an appointment or just stop in. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville, and in Reno on South Virginia Street.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Most people know that the term birdie in golf refers to a score of 1 under par, but where did the term originate? According to Scottish Golf History website, it comes from the early 20th century American slang term bird, which meant anything excellent. While a 1911 edition of Maclean magazine described a golf shot as bird straight down the course about 215 yards, the country club in Atlantic City lays claim to the first use of the word birdie. In 1898, A.B. Smith was playing the par 4 second hole when his second shot went within inches of the hole. That was a bird of a shot, he said, and claimed he should get double money if he scored 1 under par. He did indeed hold his putt, and the group thereafter referred to such a score as a birdie. In 1913, acclaimed writer Bernard Darwin wrote in the September issue of Country Life of his visit to America. He explained that it takes a day or two for the English onlooker to understand that a birdie is a hole done in a stroke under par. And now you know. That's Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Brenden Nunes, Frankie Cartoscelli here, our Sacktown Sports Kings insiders. But there's so much more than that. They bring so much to this station. And we're gonna get through this one way or the other. We are in the 12 o'clock hour, 2 hours down, 2 to go on this Friday Eve. And I told them, hey guys, I just did about an hour on LeBron. I don't think we need to do. No, it wasn't.
It was 45 minutes.
I don't think we need to do any more. And
wait, how deep in the weeds are you? Because we're gonna find it. We're gonna cut it. You know, we were meetings, but how deep in the weeds are you on that?
It's not that deep in the weeds.
He locked me in the dungeon and made me get fake trades.
There's two options. But I said, I'm talking to the listeners here. I said, hey, I don't really think we need to do any more LeBron. And Brenden agreed, but for some reason, Frankie Cartoscelli just said, hey, I really want to do a little bit more LeBron talk. So, Frankie.
Did I? No.
Yeah, did you have something?
No, I didn't want to say. No, I was just looking forward to hearing your thoughts because, this is your show, man.
Is there anything, if you could do a Kevin Huerter, DeMar DeRozan, and a bunch of picks, would that interest you or just zero interest?
I think for the fact that LeBron James is turning 40, I think in 2 weeks. It's just not a smart move for the organization.
Okay.
Not
You're
now.
growing up a Kings fan. Someone tells you, hey, little Frank, one day you're going to get LeBron James. He's going to be almost 40, but you have a chance to get LeBron James and pair him with De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. I think little Frank's saying,
and mortgage
let's do it.
The entire future, not the entire future, but the near future on LeBron James leading the Kings to an NBA championship, because that would be the expectation, right? If you empty the bank,
sure. Yes,
you need to have a championship. You can't have LeBron play in Sacramento for 30 games and that was fun. LeBron was a king for 30 games, but we gave up 2 first-round picks, Kevin Huerter, DeMar DeRozan, in De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis' prime. No, it's an interesting report. Definitely raised an eyebrow, and I sent it to Brenden today and was kind of like, because I don't know who that league executive is. I mean, how high up could he be? I'm not sure, but it just sounds like a general thought, not that there's interest there.
Yeah, it sounded more speculative, like, oh, this is a team that in his mind could make sense, rather than reporting that like there's real interest on both sides.
It was, why isn't anybody talking about this? Makes sense to me. Speaking of execs, guys, and we're about to get to some of the biggest takeaways that you've had with the Kings and their time off. But speaking of execs, Sam Amick, that survey, Monty McNair and the front office for the Sacramento Kings not getting any votes, right? Only 9 teams didn't get a single vote as far as receiving a first, second, third, fourth, or fifth place vote at best front office in the NBA. Monty McNair and Sacramento Kings not getting one. A little surprising. I mean, and Sam Amick said this is not just based on this season. This is a body of work. So it told me that people really don't know what to do with DeMar DeRozan coming to the Kings. That's what that told me. To make a move like that and not get one vote from other execs, that's kind of nuts.
I think people were already skeptical about the DeMar thing, but I do think it goes deeper than that. Like it's everything that we've talked about, that this team has no wing or forward depth.
Yeah.
And that's been the case since Monty McNair took over. And it's kind of ironic because he won the general manager of the year his first year. And obviously that was the Tyrese Sabonis trade. And, even more so as that becomes further in the past, I think hindsight, obviously a little 2020 and people are a little unsure. And I saw somebody joke around about it being a lose-lose trade even nowadays, So like
I think ESPN called it a lose-lose change.
Yeah. So
lose-lose trade.
Perspective changes on some of that stuff. And I think it's all the complementary pieces. Like DeMar is definitely a part of it, but I would guess that the lack of depth and just larger moves while really just running it back with the same stuff and then piecing in DeMar DeRozan is probably a big part of that as well.
Yeah, I feel like there hasn't been enough. I mean, I think that the perception of the Kings is shifted to be positive, right, over the past 2+ years. But at the same time, I think we're kind of entering the territory of people from that same perspective are now looking at it as they're spinning their wheels. They're looking at Sacramento as a situation where they're being a little bit complacent and not reaching high enough or making those gambles or moves that can either pay off or sink you deeper into the standings. But the DeRozan move is one that it didn't come with too much repercussions. We'll see about that pick swap down the line. But obviously with the injuries and the struggles through the first 20 games, it didn't look like a team was fit. It didn't look like it was working out. Now the past 2 games have been encouraging. They beat Utah, and it's been like a week. They played Utah and the Spurs. Yeah. That's right. It's like a week since there was like a game.
Yeah.
So you beat those last 2 teams by 27 or more points. Offense looks good. They're teams that should be in the lottery, but you have to kind of hope that was a case of early season, thoughts. Those results are based off the early season struggles. And if the Kings rattle off, 4 or 5 out of their next 6 or 7, like maybe people look at them differently.
Yeah. And we're about to head, guys. I've been continuing to bring up the Kings are 2-0. The next 8 games are going to take us to the end of the year. So as the Evan Sitteries of the world and the Brett Siegels of the world, the Shams of the world, when he's not fighting with Jimmy Butler's agent, as this stuff starts to heat up, we're in a tough spot. And we looked at the teams that the Kings are playing. You're Monty McNair, and obviously we want the Kings to win games. Trust me, it's good for business. What if the Kings go 8-2 to end the year? And this stuff starts heating up. There are a lot of names out there, not, beyond Cam Johnson and Dorian Finney-Smith, beyond those names, but there are other teams that are starting to decide that they're not good enough, and they know that they're not good enough. The Golden State Warriors, they're doing something. They know they're not good enough. We just don't know what they're going to do. The Kings, we had a caller say, hey, what do you think about the fact that Kings don't make a move last season? Are they going to make a move this season? You look at the Kings, and if the Kings go 8-2 to end the season, they're already 2-0, 8-2. They're 10 games to end the year. You're Monty McNair. Do you say, well, I don't want to mess up this mojo. So what do you do if this team does start to play better? Can you see, hey, they're playing better, but they're not good enough, or do you just let them rock?
I mean, I don't think any sort of streak they could go on right now would make you think that they're a legit championship contender. So in my mind, no matter what, like I've been on here previous years preaching like the idea of patience. And why Monty McNair's been picky.
And I'll roast you on it.
I think this offseason or this trade deadline really is the one where it's like you need to do something.
Wow. It's finally time.
I think it's finally, I mean, it's been long enough.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Well, I was preaching patience for probably longer than I should have.
I know. I think we were on the show not too long ago, and you're like, wow, I did say that last year. But it goes by. That's how fast it kind of comes up on you.
Right. Yeah. And so I think that, you went and got DeMar DeRozan, obviously. You have this De'Aaron Fox situation, which I don't really know what to make of the whole conversation of, is he going to stay if things go bad, blah, blah, blah. But you don't have that, like, timelines only last so long in the NBA. And I think you need to figure out what you have with this group, and you're not going to know until you go get the right complementary pieces. So I think it needs to happen by this deadline. There's pressure from, I'd imagine ownership wants to see things get better. I think that there's pressure for this team to do something this year,
but that's not LeBron James.
It could be.
I wouldn't bet on it. Who would you like the Kings to go after more, Allen? LeBron James or Jordan Poole? Because
don't put my business out on the street like that.
Now we're getting
don't put my business out on the street.
Has he
like
not
that.
had the pool party here?
He made sure to bring up that Jordan Poole had a new celebration after he hit 3-pointers.
What is that celebration?
The drowning in the pool. where he covers his nose.
I missed
and
this.
throws his
That's
hands
kind of
in
cool.
the air.
I don't know if that's drowning. That's kind of that's a morbid perspective.
I don't love it, but if he came to Sacramento, look, it's not about that, guys. You just said, Brenden, hey, you got to put the chips all in. I think that these names that keep coming up, my question is, and this is for you guys, but just in general, is what is all in? Evan Siddery just came out again today and said that the Kings I don't think anybody's untouchable in total, but as of right now, Kings are still wary to move Keegan Murray. Okay, fine. So let's add Cam Johnson. Fine, let's do it. Add Cam Johnson, Trey Lyles, Kevin Huerter, and a couple picks for Cam Johnson. Are the Kings going to win a championship? Because that's actually thinking that's a lot of people's dream scenario. So I don't even know what going all in is. I don't know what the Kings are trying to do.
But the important part is to get Cam Johnson. He's under contract. He's on a 40-year-old man.
No. Agreed. I think yes. So
you can build around that.
You're building around that. Yes. So it's not necessarily going all in this season. It's making a move to set you up moving forward.
To keep climbing.
Yes.
This climbing together thing that Mike Brown loves. They need to continue trending upwards because right now they've kind of flatlined a little bit and stayed at this point for this is the second straight year where we're kind of talking about the same stuff, kind of the third straight year, really. But you'll get the leeway of that first year being a feel-good season, first year breaking the drought and all that. But it's not like you have to mortgage your whole future necessarily. I just think that you have to give these guys a better chance. And if we're talking championship stuff, I think that still is and has always been reliant on can De'Aaron Fox be good enough to be a number one on a championship team. You see him continue to get better, and it's like you're kind of in a spot where you're forced to bet on that when it comes to like your star top end talent.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that as far as like if they're going to make a move 100%, and I think Sam said it on the morning show today that it'd be more of around the edges moves, and maybe that's not the most sexy option for the Kings right now. But at the same time, like I think that the big picture leveraging the future type move, I don't know if it's really out there. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be kind of the return that Washington will expect for a Kyle Kuzma, Brooklyn for a Cam Johnson, which it might take a little more draft capital for that, but that's maybe that might be like I don't want to say the biggest potential option because we don't know what can come to fruition or what can happen.
Yeah.
Or again, what the saying is 10% of all trades like that come out. Like you only hear 10% of the trades that come out. Like the 90%, like they say in the background, you don't hear about them until down the line. Someone writes a book about it, and you hear about the deals almost happen. But I think the Kings right now, they need to make a move for sure. But if they're going to leverage the future, to your point, like it's got to be for someone that's controllable, someone that's young. And if Keegan's someone that has to be traded to make that happen, probably someone bigger than Cameron Johnson.
I think yes, I agree with that. I do think, and I made the joke about, and Brenden, you're from the Bay Area too. I made the joke about your friends that have been trying to buy in the Bay Area, waiting for the bubble to burst, and now they don't even live in California anymore because it just never did. And that's how I feel about this, the patience thing. That's how I felt last season. That's how I feel this season. Until maybe the Warriors remove themselves from the Cam Johnson sweepstakes because they get Jimmy Butler or somebody. If Brooklyn is just sitting there saying the price is going up, the price is going up, the price is going up, and the Kings don't even necessarily know what they're waiting for. It's not going to drop. We had on a Nets writer in the summer, and he said they're just going to wait. Right? It's like crypto.
Yeah. Why would they not?
They're just going to wait. Why would they not? And if you keep them, you keep them. We discussed the Raptors thing and how, okay, now you're getting to OG Anunoby, and maybe this is the year, as in they finally moved off of Pascal and OG Anunoby. Maybe, but I feel like if you're Brooklyn and you're competitive, what's the rush? At what point? Cam Johnson, they're all saying the right things. They all want to stay in Brooklyn. Nobody is making a fuss out there. It feels like they like playing for Jordy. So what is the rush? So I just don't know when these prices are going to drop. And at that point, it becomes you're probably going to have to overpay for some of these guys. All right, guys, got to get to a break. Let's talk about the here and now. Let's talk about the reality of the current Kings roster. Being around the team these last couple of days where they did not play and they were just practicing, what were the insiders' biggest takeaways? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Christmas music is everywhere. The smell of gingerbread is in the air. And wait, what's that sound? It's Santa. He's headed back to Sacramento for the 41st Annual Santa Parade, December 14th in downtown Sacramento. Bring your entire family to the parade route around the capital for over 100 floats, including marching bands, pageant princesses, clowns, horses, and of course, Santa himself.
The 41st Annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 14th with Western Health Advantage, Gurnick Academy, and the California Army National Guard. The fun begins at 10 a.m. Get more info at sacktownsports.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery from the law firm of Gingery, Hammer and Associates. When you have been injured by the fault of another, you will want advice you can trust. If you know an attorney you can trust, I hope you call that person. But if you don't, please call me. I promise I will be the attorney you can trust, along with my entire team. I have been helping accident survivors recover compensation for their injuries for 25 years, and we can help you. There is no charge for calling. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
The holiday driving season is here, and my good friends over at Jiffy Lube have an awesome holiday oil change special going on right now. Get a full synthetic oil change starting at just $76.99 with a $33 off coupon online. That's right, starting at just $76.99 for up to 5 quarts of full synthetic motor oil with the online coupon. Go visit jiffylube.com right now, find a location near you, and get that $33 off full synthetic oil change coupon now. Most vehicles are covered, especially vehicles and diesel are extra. You got to show the coupon for discount. See the store for details. Happy holidays from Jiffy Lube.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m., joined by Frankie, Cartoscelli, and Brenden Nunes, our Sacktown Sports Kings insiders. Guys, you've been around the team a lot these last couple days. Basically, their biggest break or longest break they're going to have besides the All-Star break. What were your biggest takeaways from Mike Brown? Anything the players had to say? What seemed to be the theme, if you will, during this? Maybe there were a couple themes during the off time.
I think it goes back to Mike Brown's viral possession after possession 26 times over. Like they're trying to fine-tune all the details, almost treating it like training camp all over again. You get to re-emphasize some of those things. And also, little things that you normally wouldn't have the time to work on. Mike Brown referenced like post defense. Right. When would we ever get the chance to work on post defense? So it gives you that sort of time and to clean up of, I think DeMar DeRozan is the one that he's still kind of getting a feel for on this team and how that works rotationally, maybe it is, or different things like that. So I think it's a lot of fine tuning the details that we've really already heard, whether that's, closeouts or playing in the gaps defensively, making sure that they're getting the proper spray threes, maybe a couple actions to get DeMar or De'Aaron easier looks into catching the ball in their spot rather than them having to go dribble into it sort of thing. So a lot of it is they're saying that this is pretty much training camp all over again.
Yeah.
Which I think it was Malik or someone had a funny comment. Just about,
Malik joked after the game.
Joked about, I got to training camp again. But yeah, I think the most important thing too is getting a little bit of a chance to breathe. I mean, it's been a pretty tumultuous start to the year and one that obviously has gotten a lot of people in and around the organization on edge a little bit. And I think winning a couple of games in that fashion, it'd be a lot worse to go into that break on the heels of a disappointing loss or in a bad situation. You're just kind of ruminating on what happened in that ugly game to end the year in that break. But here we are. They're entering play tonight against they're 5-20 New Orleans Pelicans team. You can't take any team lightly, but they're rested. I think one of the practices, DeMar DeRozan and Malik Monk weren't there, and apparently it wasn't really due to an injury. It was more of a maintenance situation, I think.
They said it was precautionary and that if they were playing, they would be out there.
Yes.
But you have that luxury.
The classic.
But you have that luxury when you have that many days off in a row. And the next day of practice, they looked like they spoke to the media too. So it really was just kind of a nice chance to take a deep breath and reevaluate some things, like Brenden said, work on some situations and some things in practice that you wouldn't normally do in preparing for a game on a one-day break. So, now it's no excuses. They play tonight and they have a couple more days off, and then they kind of dive back into it and have a lot of games at home too, where they haven't been as good as they should be.
They're 3-1 over their last 4. And I kind of asked Malik yesterday how much he feels like they've been doing Mike Brown's possession after possession sort of mantra. And I thought his answer was interesting, saying, quote, "We're getting there. I feel like we've got to beat a few more good teams, then we'll realize how good we can be. Until then, I feel like we'll just be level, going up and down until we start beating them good teams in a row. I feel like that's when we'll be at our best."
Well, sure, brother, but just beat teams.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Just win games.
Right.
Because tonight, I don't care if they're -5 and 20, you got to win tonight. Okay. The Pelicans, I don't care who they put out there with CJ McCollum. He's ticked off that the Kings didn't draft him.
Still angry.
I forgot about that.
No, how could you?
Gosh, he mentions it after every game.
Every game.
He brings up every game.
I kind of like it. But.
Yeah. I mean, we won't get into that. The other thing with Malik in the starting lineup and how that has changed things, Mike Brown has been pretty open that, hey, this has really not thrown a wrench in things, but it changes how we have to, I think he said, what did he say? The beginning of the second quarter or the rotations
it's
there.
About like a 5-minute stretch, end of the first, start of the second, and same thing, end of the third, start of the fourth, where you really only see De'Aaron, because they try to keep at least 2 of De'Aaron, Keegan, Domas, DeMar, and Malik on the floor at all times. And typically in that stretch, just with how rotations have worked, it's De'Aaron and Keegan. And Keegan's not creating for himself or his teammates at this point. So it puts a lot of pressure on De'Aaron in those stretches.
Still, still waiting for with that being said, still waiting for that, I guess, breakout game from Keegan Murray. I promise you guys, every game I think it's going to happen. He locked up Lloyd Marketing pretty darn good. He put him on an island. I don't know if the Warriors are continuing because they're winning, but there's going to be a day where Kevin Huerter doesn't score 26 points and Malik cools off a little bit, or somebody cools off a little bit. And I think that speaks to the sustainability of this. The only guy that you can kind of count in that 15 points every single night, just based on the flow of the offense, is Domantas Sabonis. And maybe to a lesser degree, that De'Aaron is going to get over 15 just based on volume. DeMar DeRozan to a lesser degree as well. But besides that, everything feels good right now. Kevin Huerter's been playing well off the bench. Malik Monk's been playing well as a starter. But I just can't get over the fact that you're going to need this Keegan Murray thing isn't going to go away. And to Malik's point, you could win tonight. But when you do face a good team and the Grizzlies got 10 dudes in double figures, you're going to look and say, you can't have a thin bench and your starters aren't producing offensively the way you need them to start. Because, I'm not putting him in the same category, but to be a two-way guy, you got to be a threat offensively as well. We can't call you a two-way guy. You're Matisse Thybulle if you're just a good defender. So I don't know when that's going to happen. I know they're winning games, but it's just in the back of my mind because they are playing lesser competition these last couple games.
Yeah, and super limited sample size here, but the last 4 games alone, it's just going to show that signs of he is kind of slowly starting to come out of it, Keegan Murray.
Yeah.
And the last 4 games, he's playing about 35 minutes per game, but he's averaging 12 points per game, 7 rebounds, so he's still rebounding, making an impact there a little bit. But the three-point shooting has gotten better. He's taking 5 attempts per game, making 40% of those, shooting 49% from the field. So, again, 4 games, very limited, but just over this recent stretch where, like we mentioned, they've won 3 of 4. They're playing a winning brand of basketball. Keegan Murray is doing what he can, and maybe not going to be a 15, 20-point per game scorer. I don't think he really needs to be that when Malik Monk's in the starting lineup, when you have that many self-creators and guys like Fox, DeRozan, Malik, those guys can all get you 20-plus points. It kind of has shifted Keegan back into that role where he was his rookie year, where if you're going to be a movement shooter and an off ball or DHO option, like you said, you got to knock him down. And it looks like he's starting to knock him down a little more. And maybe that's, I don't want to, put him into a corner, but maybe that's where Keegan Murray is at his best right now as an NBA player. Maybe he's at his best as a movement shooter, not someone who's having to go self-create, because he can do that. We've seen him do it. I think Mike's talked about it, how it's impressed him, how Keegan can have a little step back or have his little mid-range shot. But when he's playing in an offense like this with Malik Monk and all these creators, 40% from 3, and he's rebounding the basketball, the numbers looking better.
On the other side, we talk about tonight and whether the Kings are going to turn it around, and we discuss the dribble handoff versus the pick and roll. Is that the key to unlocking this Kings offense? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Pelicans. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Expect to have more rain developing as we head through the afternoon and on into the evening today, with temperatures warming into the mid to upper 50s and winds from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Get the latest forecasts on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think Happy Honda Days. There's no better time to visit Elk Grove Honda than during our year-end clearance sale in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Here comes Floyd, throw over the middle. Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Be there December 30th for Monday Night Football at Levi Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers face the Detroit Lions.
20, one block and he's in.
It's the final regular season home game of the campaign and presented by SAP.
Touchdown!
Tickets are available now. Secure your seats today at 49ers.com/tickets.
San Francisco!
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. The winter months bring joy, but also with more rain and snow, unfortunately, more accidents. Over the last quarter century, thousands of Northern California residents have looked to Ashton & Price to be their root op with a law license to guide them through the storm of an injury claim. As always, we wish you and your family the safest and happiest of holidays. But if you need us, at Ashton & Price, we're here for you. So whether you've been naughty or nice, happiest holidays from Ashton & Price.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details. If you've been too busy to sign up for your health insurance plan, it's understandable. It's also why there's Health Markets. At healthmarkets.com, you can see the plans available to you and even speak to a licensed insurance agent. Just dial pound 250 and say Health Markets. They'll answer your questions, and when you're ready, even help you apply. Just dial pound 250 and say Health Markets. Getting your new health insurance plan could be easier than you think. Health Markets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed as an insurance agency nationwide except in Massachusetts.
It's not your average holiday season. Hold on to your hard hats because starting Monday, December 13th, Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet is unwrapping the biggest power tool sale Sacramento has ever seen. We're turning up the heat with 12 days of unbeatable prices on all your favorite Makita products and much more. Free batteries with tools, free tools with batteries, and bare tools starting at just $99. Come on down and give us a visit at 6701 Power and Road in Sacramento, or shop our Christmas deals online at fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet. Better tools, better prices.
Right now is the perfect time to replace your windows. It's Bell Brothers end-of-year warehouse sale. We're offering our lowest prices of the year on all windows and doors. Plus, instant rebate up to $2,000 when you purchase new windows. And zero payments, zero interest financing for 12 months. Call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or go online to thenosurpriseguys.com. These deals will not last long. If you've been putting off getting to replace your windows or installing new doors, now is the time to take action. It's Bell Brothers end-of-the-year warehouse clearance. Call now at 916-444-1234 or go online to thenosurpriseguys.com. In-home estimates are always free. If you're ready to replace your windows or install new doors, right now Bell Brothers has the lowest prices of the year, plus an instant rebate of up to $2,000 when you purchase new windows or more, and zero payments, zero interest financing. Get all the details at thenosurpriseguys.com. Minimum purchase required. Financing based on approved credit. Cannot combine offers.
Merry Christmas from Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and we're still celebrating Black Friday all month long. When buying a car, getting a good deal, it's kind of the easy part. Where Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram really sets themselves apart from anywhere else is the experience, from sales to service and everything in between. It's why so many people keep coming back to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's because it's the place where a handshake still means something. And if you've been wanting to experience that Jeep life, there's no better time than now. SacSuperstore.com, located off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course.
Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m.
Bars.
Joined by Frankie Cartoscelli, Brenden Nunes. Guys, first of all, do the Kings turn it around tonight? Do they finally, and I'm saying specifically against the Pelicans, do they slay the Pelicans dragon?
If they don't tonight, I don't know how you can ever feel good about them doing it anytime soon.
Zion, these are the guys that are out. Zion, Brandon Ingram, Jose Alvarado, Jordan Hawkins, Daniel Tice is questionable. He missed last game, and Javonte Green is questionable.
Yeah, I mean, look, this isn't the same Pelicans team from last year, and yeah, they are going to still have CJ McCollum, who had a big game against the Kings at Golden One Center, which ended with him telling the TV, the sideline reporter, that the Kings passed him up. But this is a team that's one of or the worst three-point shooting teams in the league. They are just one of the worst teams in the league in general. Offensive rating, I think, is last in the NBA. So if you can take care of business against them, I wrote it in my preview today. I think that they are 1 in, give me one moment, three-point shooting. They are 1 in 11 this year when shooting under 37% from three. So if you can kind of keep them under 37%, if they don't shoot, if they don't have a good night from three, the Kings are very likely going to win the game. But again, the Kings 3-point defense, 28th in the NBA right now. They allow opponents to shoot 37% from three this year.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
So it's a law of averages. You got to hold them underneath that average and hope that things can go their way. But I mean, obviously the Kings are set up right now. You win tonight, you get back to 500. You have a couple more days. They don't play again until Monday. Then you have Denver in town. But home cooking for a while. You play in California, I think, after today for almost a month. They don't go on a road trip until mid-January. Mm-hmm. So really, this is a good opportunity for them to, take advantage of the holiday season. A lot of home games, a lot of people in the building, and hopefully change the narratives on this team.
With the three-point shooting, I will say, the length was an issue last year, and I think that also correlated to the Pelicans three-point shooting. You have these tall, high releases of Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, previously Brandon Ingram. He's not going to be there today, obviously, but that still exists,
Yes.
And so I think Frankie has a great point. The not letting a bad offensive team get some confidence early, get a rhythm is going to be key. But this team is 5-20.
Yeah.
If you want to be serious,
but not this team. Not the Pelicans team they're playing tonight.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I mean, they're more talented than they're 5-20 for sure.
Yes.
But that's also the reality of what this team is looking at right now. So they are going to probably play with some level of desperation. I think obviously comes with that. But I mean, you already lost 2 games to the Spurs, that you're a team that you're supposed to be better than. These teams that you're neck and neck with, the Blazers, these teams that you're neck and neck with and really supposed to be a tier above in the Western Conference, and the Pelicans have proven themselves to be lower, obviously. Mm-hmm. You have to take care of business here. We mentioned Malik Monk saying you got to beat the bad teams. Your point stands. You have to beat good teams. You still have to take care of business against these.
That's what I'm talking about. And somebody on the text line mentioned that as well. Guys, I just had to, and I think we do it every year.
Here we go.
The 2013 draft, one of the most confusing drafts, I think, in the history of the NBA. So you have CJ McCollum. He went 10th to the Blazers, of course. And he's mad at the Kings, who took Ben McLemore at 7. But all these guys, I mean, Anthony Bennett went 1.
I still am just so dumbfounded and stunned when I remember that.
Anthony Bennett went 1. Victor Oladipo went 2.
He was really good for a while.
He was.
Yeah, it ended up being okay.
They knocked out Temple in March Madness when he was at Indiana. Otto Porter Jr. went 3. Cody Zeller went 4.
Oh.
Alex Len went 5. Nerlens Noel went 6.
That's disgusting. This top 6 is disgusting.
That 4, 5, 6 is ridiculous.
Brutal. It was literally a different time.
Shout out Alex Len, though.
Oladipo kind of not saved. I mean, he was an all-star, but
yeah, he couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah,
he couldn't stay healthy.
His career got better once he finally got out of Orlando.
Yeah. Yes.
Is that one of those drafts where 27 was Gobert?
It's the Giannis draft.
Okay.
And Gobert was drafted as well. 7 was Ben McLemore. 8 was KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
Not bad.
9, this was my guy, Trey Burke.
Okay.
Trey Burke was my guy from Michigan.
He gave buckets, man. He was a problem.
CJ McCollum went 10. And Michael Carter Williams was 11. He was Rookie of the Year.
And I don't think he was ever even relatively anywhere near as good as he was after his rookie
No.
year.
Peaking in your first game.
Yeah,
is
because the
insane.
Sixers then tore the whole thing down right after they drafted him.
Steven Adams went 12. Kelly Olynyk went 13.
KO.
Shabazz Muhammad went 14, and Giannis went 15.
You know, the Macklemore, that pick was, I think, praised because the Kings needed shooting around Boogie, and people liked it. He was athletic. He was one of the more top. I think he was a top college talent that was supposed to go top 3, and he fell with 7. I mean, I guess we know now why, but it's never worked out here. But that was and I think 2014, I think was or 15. What 15 might have been actually the Papagiannis draft.
Yeah, 13. Yeah, 2013 was a very role player heavy draft. Dennis Schroeder, Mason Plumlee, Tim Hardaway Jr., Reggie Bullock, Rudy Gobert, so guys like that. So
same vibes as 2024.
Yeah.
And to answer your point, Alan, the reason CJ McCollum specifically does not like the Sacramento Kings out of all those teams is that the Kings told him they were going to draft him and then did not draft him.
But did they?
They probably did.
According to him, they did.
Probably did.
I don't know why he would lie about that.
But did they?
That was such a weird time for the Kings, though. I think it was Pete D'Alessandro was in charge then. I think that, and also in that draft, I think Jerry Reynolds or someone told the story that I think one of the last things that Jeff Petrie said when he was leaving, the Kings was that, hey, like that Antetokounmpo kid's going to be pretty good. That kid from Greece is going to be good. Like, just keep your eyes peeled.
These stories are always so funny to me.
Why?
Like Wes Wilcox will talk about how he was huge on Giannis.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the guy who ran the Orlando Magic went on a podcast with Woj and was like, at number 2, we were thinking about picking Giannis.
Ridiculous.
It's revisionist history. Just like, we were going to take him.
Yeah, I'm sure people were interested. But
where was Wes working in 2013 again? Was he with Atlanta?
Atlanta,
yeah.
Well, let's get back to the team that the Kings do have right now. And guys, we were discussing this last week. Jill Adge had this breakdown on social media about the DHOs versus the pick and rolls and how maybe having Malik as they revert to the pick and roll more often, their shooting has been better. So, Frankie, as you bring up the movement shooting with Keegan, it also feels like the pick and roll where it's just nobody can stay with. I mean, there are not a lot of defenders that can stay with Malik or De'Aaron Fox once they put their head down and they make one move and they get to the paint. They either finish it themselves or they kick it out. Does it feel like the DHO, I don't want to say played out, but does it feel like it's been time for the Kings to remix it a little bit? I like to use the Boogie Cousins meme with Karl Anthony Towns. The Kings are sitting there just playing ring around the Rosie and the defense just doesn't care because they're not making shots. Was it time for them to mix it up a little bit?
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, sure. And I think that having Malik Monk, who I think primarily we kind of focused on last year, his pick and roll game was mostly with Alex Len because he's playing in the second unit. And now Domantas Sabonis is one of the best screeners in the league. Pretty hard to slip a Domantas Sabonis screen or get around it. So we're seeing Domas, who also is really at his best around the rim. I think he's around 70% at the rim this year. He just really is a good finisher. That pairing has worked out well. And also when defenses collapse in on Domas going to the rim because they're trying to block a shot, that is freeing up open looks for guys like who have been playing better, like Kevin Huerter, who's knocking down threes lately, 50% from 3 the past 4 games. Keegan Murray, like I just pulled up, last 4 games, 40% from 3. So I think that this Malik Monk offense has kind of given a chance for not just those guys, but even De'Aaron Fox to play off the ball a little bit more, which I think that's something that has been an intriguing aspect of the Kings offense too, is Fox is playing a little more off ball and, scoring more on cuts and things of that nature. But I think when you have guys like Malik in the lineup and multiple guys that can kind of have that kind of ball movement and demand that kind of attention, I think having a pick and roll heavy offense, especially with Domas on the floor, is going to be something that works out well.
I think so too. I mean, I think part of the DHO game was that it makes it easier for Kevin and Keegan to like pseudo create their own shots. They're really doing it off of Domas, but now you obviously add DeMar into the mix, Malik moving into this starting group, obviously what De'Aaron can do off the dribble, but that's in my mind, the hardest thing to guard is a guy that can create from the perimeter specifically.
Yeah.
And so I think they have leaned more into this pick and roll game, but the DHO still exists. And sometimes there's really not that much of a difference.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's just who has the ball at the beginning of it, the guard or the big, so they're running a lot of the same stuff, but Domas, I think the most like obvious basic stat to show it a little bit is his assists are down from 8.2 to 6.2, but he's a little bit more of a play finisher.
Yeah.
I actually hadn't realized till right now. He's got a career high in field goal percentage, 62.2%, 3-point percentage, 42.9%. That's crazy. And free throw, percentage, 81.5%. So he's been really efficient at finishing plays, can re-emphasize like he always did, I guess, because led the league in rebounding for 2 years in a row, but getting on the offensive glass. And I think when you just have those sort of talented perimeter creators that you kind of want to cater to that a little bit, but that doesn't mean that Domas's screen setting ability isn't still impacting the team.
One more segment with the guys. Get your questions in 916-339-1140 or on the Sack Chat. Be a part of our community on YouTube, Sacktown Sports 1140. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Now to Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app. Tonight, Kings and Pelicans. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Hey there, you and aisle 2. I see you by the fiber and laxatives. You still using those to manage your constipation with belly pain? If your symptoms keep coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. So you may need more than over-the-counter treatments to manage it. Ask your doctor about how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Get huge year-end savings on the all-new 2025 Silverado now at Maida Chevy.
With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates on select new 2025 half-ton Silverado LT and RST.
And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area.
$8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing leasing some of the offers.
Yeah, that's my girl. Dylan Scott, Country Till I Die Tour. That's my girl. Platinum selling artist Dylan Scott. With special guests Jackson Dean and Avriana.
Just can't have mine. Thank God she loves me. God knows I got so lucky.
Friday, January 10th, 7 p.m. The venue in Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com.
Seasons change, but if you hope to stay healthy, your body needs to stay active year-round, whether that's in the gym or on the trail or at work, and that's where the Good Feet store can help. Good Feet's personalized arch support system supports all 4 arches, relieving pain in your feet, knees, hips, and back. And Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Visit goodfeet.com for an appointment or stop in for a free fitting. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville, and in Reno on South Virginia Street.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The holidays are just around the corner, so now's the time to shop new deals at Lowe's. Make your home even merrier with up to 50% off select holiday decor clearance. Plus, don't miss our limited time weekly deal drops on items like appliances, tools, grills, and more. There's something for everyone on your list. Count on Lowe's to help you save all season long, because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 12/12 through 12/18. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. It's Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Good Guys Heating and Cooling. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Brenden, you could flow to this, couldn't you?
Yeah, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Frankie?
No. I'm not. Was it be easy?
No.
I'm relaxed.
Frank,
Relax, Frank. Relax.
We're going to come back with one of Brendan's
No, we are not.
songs.
We are
We're going
not.
to find them.
They're demanding I play this.
They are not. You guys are still playing Kid Rock when I come back.
That joke is like 3 years old now, and it's still funny every time.
People are like, why do they play Kid Rock when you come on? I don't want to get into it.
You have a lot of different attachments to you. You have
Pizza guy.
Yeah, you have the Costco guys.
For some reason, that was Verlaud made that up out of thin air.
We bring the boom!
That was ready.
The Rizzler dropped a Christmas song too.
That was so gross.
I hate where we're at, but I appreciate people getting their money.
Were the Costco guys on your Spotify Wrapped?
No.
We bring the boom!
You don't appreciate the artistic vision?
Apparently not. But
you're not bringing the boom.
You're not having a very Rizzler Christmas?
I'm not. How the Rizzler stole Christmas. This is
that what it's called?
No, but I don't know.
No,
maybe.
there's a shocking amount of production value behind it too. I've seen the first 20 seconds of it. There's a shocking amount of production value.
I'm sure they have plenty of money to roll into something like that. Now.
Just wait. Once you get Baby Frank, hey man, we got to collab. We're gonna make some money here. Baby Styles, Baby Frank, we gotta make some money one way or the other. Let's hope that the Kings are ready to make some money tonight with a W in New Orleans, guys. And we were discussing whether or not the Kings even need to make a move. Brenden, you kind of beat me to the punch earlier when you said, well, it depends. If we're talking championship, there's no way that they can't. But I did want to ask, is there a world where they don't?
Explain that again to me.
Is there a world where the Kings don't make a move and it doesn't result in Monty McNair losing his job?
I mean, yeah, if they went on a run like you were talking about, I guess, if this group managed to click and get out of the first round, but I don't really think that I'd be shocked if he's even able to not make a move by the deadline. I think that, again, unless they go on some big run, but I still think that wing forward depth is going to bite you in the heel every couple games, So I think that he's going to kind of have to.
I did want to add this because we know that you do that podcast, Kings Beat, and I was listening to some of it over the weekend, and one of the first calls today brought up the Monty McNair conversation and whether or not he can make a move. I liken this, Frankie, to baseball in a way, and not your New York Yankees, but the San Francisco Giants with Farhan. And a lot of the conversation was, why is this guy penny pinching? We know the Giants have a lot of money. And I always thought is it ever going to come out that, I mean, there was an understanding that Farhan was brought in to fix the books. There were some bad deals, and we never really knew how much freedom Farhan was getting. Why would Farhan care about spending somebody else's money? That's what I always thought. And I thought that maybe there was some of Farhan's philosophy in there, but also the Giants maybe weren't allowing him to spend that type of money. I want to be careful here, guys, but as far as, and I think we can do it, as far as making these moves are concerned, what is your understanding about as far as ownership, the luxury tax, and how much freedom Monty McNair has to say, bleep it, I want to do this, I want to do that? Because Monty is getting a lot of flack, but do we know that Monty just has freedom to do whatever the heck he wants?
I don't think that we know that. And I think what I would say is as you earn more leeway when it comes to that stuff. And if you start putting together a better product that looks more competitive than what they have so far, even though this has been positive progress compared to the 17-year playoff drought, then you could get more leeway. I think that's just, me assuming what I would think would go through the mind of ownership. But as of right now, the impression that we've gotten is that they don't want to be a tax-paying team. And they also don't have a product on the floor that I think would justify that necessarily up to this current point. So it does limit your flexibility a little bit. And there's like revenue sharing involved in some of those conversations as well. And I think they forfeited their revenue sharing for the first handful of years as well as part of the agreement to stay in Sacramento, which is that comes up in this conversation as well. So you want to get a part of that. But impression right now is maybe they don't want to be a tax-paying team, which, hinders you a little bit, but a lot of teams have their back against the walls, not necessarily because of ownership, but first and second apron. That's part of why the Kings LeBron thing came up today. It says in that article, so many other teams just can't do anything. And these guys still have a little bit of flexibility. Now you might be fighting against the cap, but you have salaries that you can move and try to get things done there. Or, is Doug McDermott going to make it to the end of the year? Is Orlando Robinson going to make it to the end of the year? It's your end of year salary that ends up counting towards these numbers.
And I think they have $7 million underneath the
first
tax, the threshold. And like it's something that they're kind of navigating. I think they don't want to be a tax team, but at the same time, like for the Sacramento Kings, I feel like to be up there with those big hitters, you might have to be a tax team. You might have to at some point say, we're going to have to kind of overspend or overinvest and hope it kind of comes back and works out. Because if you want to maximize the value of this, this core, which Sam Amick today on with Dave and Jason said that this ownership group and the organization, they feel confident in this core still, the starting five specifically, then you might have to kind of overspend or add some more salary and kind of dip into that tax. And I don't think they've been in a tax team since 2004 when they were.
That's crazy.
Which a lot of people you ask around here, I think they would say that 03-04 probably, or 02-03 probably was the best team ever, but 03-04 right behind them. I mean, a really good team that still had Weber kind of coming back from an injury, but they had to kind of add talent around those guys and overspend a little bit. So it's hard for me to look at this team as constructed and say they're going to win a playoff series. They haven't won a playoff series since that team in 04. To get to that point, you might have to at some point add some salary, take on more back, and it might go back to ownership. Is how much are you willing to spend and how much are you willing to invest in this team to make sure that they get past that point and not be complacent and not keep reaching for a first round appearance, going beyond that and going further.
Spotrac has them for what it's worth, $2 million, a little over $2 million under the tax, and $5.9 million, just under $6 million under that first apron as well.
So when you say that to me, and when I watched the clip over the weekend, it did feel a little bit chicken or the egg to me in a way. You want a contender, but you have to pay for a contender, but you don't want to pay for a contender until you have a contender. So I guess, are we a year away from, okay, if y'all prove you can get to the playoffs, or if this team is good enough to get to the second round, then let's have a luxury tax conversation next season because we're close. I can't pay a luxury tax for a team that, I guess there's a line to your point, Brenden, that you need to get to without the luxury tax before we dip into it. I'm not paying for a play-in team, and if Cam Johnson's going to take me into the luxury tax, I can't do it because that's not going to get us to the finals. You got to get that money back, finals revenue, whatever. Every round that you get past matters. So it feels chicken or the egg, but I guess the argument is you have to show me more, and then we can have the conversation.
I've always really liked Vivek's comparison of like sports and religion about how it brings a community together. And all of that's true. And it's a fun thing when it comes down to it. But it's a business for Vivek. So you need to, like, you know, he has to balance that of how much is he making, how much he's losing, obviously, and what that ends up netting. So, you know, if you like, Golden One hasn't been filled every game this year.
No,
you know?
I think I looked up attendance, and
there was a game the other day that had like 15,000 people.
Yeah, I do believe they were definitely bottom half for attendance.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that's kind of hard to know at the current point of would that tune change as the team started to progress. But I think this is a reality that a lot of general managers around the league have to deal with, and something that was probably known when Monty McNair took the job in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, so you know what you're dealing with. And is that an added layer of complication? Sure. It's not exactly atypical though around the league in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Suns and what they didn't get any votes in Sam Amick's survey either, and it's probably they spent all this money. Their bench is better, right? And I don't even think Tyus Jones would count because he's starting. Their roster's better than it was, but you're in a bad position financially. You have nothing to show for it so far.
Well, but they have if healthy, a very good roster, and they have that to lean back on. And look at the players that did come and take veteran minimum deals to play for them, like Tyus Jones. Like those are the kind of players, or Royce O'Neal, a guy who the Kings were looking at maybe targeting, and he helped them a lot down the stretch last year. He had a shot that put the game away against the Kings in the final stretch of the year. So
that's right.
There are some moves that the Kings could make if they get to that point, and maybe you have enough talent. People will take veteran minimum deals to come play here, and maybe it won't be the Doug McDermott's or Jay Crowder's. Maybe it'll be someone that are, or you know, not to say that they're irrelevant, but maybe people that could help more of a day-to-day basis right now. So it's a fine line. What will it take to get to that point where they feel like they want to spend and get into that luxury tax? I don't know if it's going to happen this year, but I feel like at some point it might have to be, you know, a possibility.
Funny you say that, Frankie. You know, I know there's a player out there who a lot of people would take a vet minimum if he was out here.
Who?
You know who?
LeBron
James.
Okay.
All right.
You're not wrong.
You're
not wrong with that.
I thought you were going to say a Morris twin.
No,
I thought so too.
I said that one time. I brought up a Morris twin one time. And they still would bring a lot of dog to this team. They still would bring a lot of dog. These guys bring a lot of dog to sacktownsports.com. Go check out all their work. Brenden, we're going to play his song coming back from the break. Brenden Nunes, Frankie Cartoscelli. Go check out all their work on sacktownsports.com. Follow them, social media on X. We will talk to them soon. And when we come back, we have our Kings versus Pelicans preview. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Pelicans. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings is Sacktown Sports 1140.
When your little one has a cold with a fever, try new Dayquil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. It's the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Dayquil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever offers fast, effective cold and fever relief for kids ages 6 and up with a delicious grape flavor that kids love. New Dayquil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever will help them feel better fast so they can get back to the fun stuff quickly. New Dayquil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable. Available where fuel additives are sold.
The holiday driving season is here, and my good friends over at Jiffy Lube have an awesome holiday oil change special going on right now. Get a full synthetic oil change starting at just $76.99 with a $33 off coupon online. That's right, starting at just $76.99 for up to 5 quarts of full synthetic motor oil with the online coupon. Go visit jiffylube.com right now, find a location near you, and get that $33 off full synthetic oil change coupon now. Most vehicles are covered, specialty vehicles and diesel are extra. You got to show the coupon for discount. See the store for details. Happy holidays from Jiffy Lube.
The holidays are always a great time to get together with family and friends, but nothing beats the thrill of Stockton Honda's deals. During Happy Honda Days, find the perfect ride in person or online. With over 400 new Hondas ready to go, now is the time to buy at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number one claims based on 2023
total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
Here comes Floyd, throw over the middle. Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Be there December 30th for Monday Night Football at Levi Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers face the Detroit Lions.
20, one block and he's in.
It's the final regular season home game of the campaign and presented by SAP.
Touchdown!
Tickets are available now. Secure your seats today at 49ers.com/tickets.
San Francisco!
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
I always approach the holidays with a sense of excitement and a time to be with family. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa for Naturewood Home Furnishings. For me, the best times were when there were 3 generations all celebrating together. Today, we're the grandparents, and the holiday spotlight shines on my grandson. And I hope he'll remember holidays the way his papa does. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create your own kind of holiday memories during their holiday home sale. Unique gifts found only at Naturewood, like hall trees, curios, chairside tables, and more, are available at savings of 20% off. During Naturewood's holiday home sale, you'll find savings all around the store for every room in your home. Find your perfect bit of Christmas for your home at Naturewood Home Furnishings holiday home sale going on right now. The memories you make with your family will live with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Hey, it's time to open up your calendar app for some incredible live events coming your way. This is the Sacktown Sports Live Events Calendar, bringing you the hottest shows in town. Kick off 2025 with country superstars Dylan Scott and Jackson Dean. They're hitting the stage at Thunder Valley on January 10th for a night of hot country hits. Then on January 11th, laugh until your sides hurt with comedy legend Bill Engvall. He's performing live at Thunder Valley, a show you won't want to miss. And the one and only Justin Timberlake is bringing electrifying energy to the Golden One Center on January 15th. This is your chance to see an icon in action. For a more intimate vibe, catch Bryce Vine at Ace of Spades on January 25th. It'll be an unforgettable night of alternative hip-hop. And finally, looking ahead to February 20th, Old 60 lights up Ace of Spades with their unique blend of rock and soul. Get your tickets now because these shows will sell out fast. For details and updates, visit SacktownSports.com. And stay tuned. This is your ticket to the best live entertainment in the 916, the Sacktown Sports Live Events Calendar.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the Lakers. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Great stuff as always by Brenden, Nunes, and Frankie Cartoscelli. Always good to get their thoughts. And I wanted to find a way to ask that question about the luxury tax in a way that would be clear and also in a way that was fair to all parties involved. And I was really happy with their responses because I think it did illustrate things that maybe we don't hear about too often. And the Giants comparison to me is the first thing I thought of because, you know, Farhan got a lot of flack. I believe he's back helping out the Dodgers. I read that. I don't know if that's
I thought official. It was reported, but I don't know if he's there yet.
I don't know if it's official either. And a lot of these guys, you don't really know what they're being told, right? Again, it's not their money. You know, if somebody says, if you are a wedding planner, okay, you're a wedding planner, they're going to give you a budget and you have to give them what they want based on that budget. They want the best setup that's possible within that budget. Now, if you say, hey, there are things that you're asking for that is outside of their budget, outside that is not meeting your budget, we have to have a conversation. Let's talk about house hunters. I know a lot of people have thrown on house hunters when, you're just kind of mindless TV. You don't know what to put on. I got house hunters. I got diners, drive-ins, and dives. I got bar rescue. Those are my Law and Order, SVU. Those are my mains. If I'm just maybe half watching or don't really feel like choosing something. And house hunters, they'll say to the real estate agent, hey, yeah, I want a 5-bedroom, 4-bath, on the water in San Diego. And then what's the first thing the agent says to them? What's your budget? If they say their budget is $400,000, sorry, brother, that's not going to work.
I don't know. I was always a Storage Wars guy.
Well, the Pawn, what is it? The Pawn one?
Pawn Stars?
Pawn Stars as well.
Yeah, now we're going into the History Channel. That's Pawn Stars. That's American Pickers.
Yeah.
All that good stuff. Also, Impractical Jokers.
No, we're not doing Impractical Jokers.
Why? That's a great show.
So you have the house, right, that you want, but your budget doesn't match. So now it's, hey, if you have $400,000, you probably need to move out of San Diego, or you need to look at this 2-bedroom condo that's a decent drive away from the beach. So a lot of decisions have to be made, not just on the Kings, but a lot of these teams where it's, all right, what do you want and what can I get? You might think that there's a real estate agent out there that could find you something better than the current agent that you got. Hey, well, my buddy, he only had $400,000. And he was able to find something similar to what I want. Why can't you find it? So it's a lot similar to that. And that's something we don't talk about when people are calling saying, Monty McNair's not doing this, not doing that, whatever it is. There's so much more to this. I'm not giving Monty McNair a pass per se. I'm just saying it's not, and I know Kyle's never seen this movie, it's not like he's on blank check from the 90s and Vivek gives him a blank check and he says, go find some stuff. Go get the guys. And Monty's saying, no, I don't want to spend your money, or no, I don't want to do these things. Everybody has constraints that they have to work within. So that's something to remember as well when we're having these conversations. And we don't know what they are. Maybe it's simply don't go into the luxury tax. You can do whatever you want, but don't do that. So you got to figure out a way to make the best team you can. Now you could argue, well, I don't think Monty's made the best team he can without going into the luxury tax. You got to draft better. You have to make different moves. You can be a really good team and not go over the luxury tax. But look at some of the draft picks that you've hit on, that you've missed on, the moves that you've made. So it's very complex, and it's not just, why is it Monty doing this? It's not that simple all the time.
So here's kind of my 2 cents on the luxury tax versus second aprons and stuff like that. And baseball is the place where this conversation exists a lot, because baseball doesn't have like a true salary cap structure. It has luxury tax now, but that's a new thing, relatively speaking. And there's just such a discrepancy between the lowest budget teams and the highest budget teams. Is what having no luxury tax penalties or extra money does. It doesn't make your team better. It gives you more room to make mistakes.
Right.
The best thing that having luxury tax money does is it gives you room for error, because if you're a team that signs a $30 million, like the Blazers signing Jeremy Grant, you sign a $30 million player like that, it's not that easy to move them. But if you're willing to go into the luxury tax, you can just sign another $30 million player and it makes up for that mistake. And now you have depth all of a sudden. And that's where draft picks come in handy, because they're often on very cheap, controllable contracts, which Monty McNair has been for better or for worse, there hasn't been a Kings draft pick in the last 2 years that is making a contribution on this current team right now.
Yeah.
So with all respect to Colby Jones, I know Colby Jones is playing minutes, but I'm talking about like a key contributor. And so having that room for flexibility, I remember the Boston Red Sox in 2018 won the championship in baseball. And like in April, they just straight up cut Hanley Ramirez and he was making like $24 million. And they said, we'll pay you $24 million to just not be here. We'd rather have the extra roster spot. So that's something that a team like the Kings just couldn't do. You can't just get rid of a player who's making a ton of money because you don't have that leeway and that flexibility that, say, the Clippers do, where they say, we're just going to throw caution into the wind and trade for James Harden. And if it doesn't matter, or if it doesn't work out, then whatever. We'll just pay the luxury tax bill and move on. So I think that's ultimately what I think the big spending teams have in terms of advantage. It's not that it makes them better. It just gives them more room to make mistakes.
The 916 is saying, and I don't know if I totally agree with this, but the 916 is saying kind of how I've always felt about the Kings. They're kind of here for entertainment and a buck and not made to make a championship. So it's kind of hard to really put all your heart and soul into this organization as a fan. It seems like a recipe for continued disappointment. That's from Mark. I wouldn't say that, Mark. I think that they're trying to make certain moves, and the moves that they've made so far are getting there. They just haven't got over the hump yet. I'm looking here, Kyle. This was going into this. This was going into the season. These are the teams, and this is before I think some of the moves have been made, the teams that are paying the most in luxury tax. So maybe on the other side, we'll talk about who are the best teams that aren't paying luxury tax. So number one, the Phoenix Suns at $188 million into the luxury tax. Number two, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Number three, the Boston Celtics. Number four, the Milwaukee Bucks. Number five, the Los Angeles Lakers. Number six, the Miami Heat. Number seven, the Denver Nuggets. And those Timberwolves, I think it got better once they moved off of Karl Anthony Towns.
It will next year.
Yes.
The Timberwolves are not just out of the luxury tax. I think they're out of the second apron. I think they're just out of the luxury tax altogether. Now, They might re-sign Julius Randle and change that, but I think they don't have full salary cap money committed.
Number eight, the Philadelphia 76ers. Number nine, the New York Knicks. Number 10, the Golden State Warriors. Number 11, the Dallas Mavericks. Number 12, the Los Angeles Clippers. And yeah, that's even with Paul George gone, I believe. Number 13, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Number 14, only $2 million into it, but number 14, the New Orleans Pelicans. That's rough. That's a rough go.
They can fix that pretty easily. All they have to do is just cut a $3 million player, and they'll be fine.
And number 15, barely into the luxury tax, not even $1 million, about $200,000 into the luxury tax, the Indiana Pacers. So you look at those are the teams that are in the luxury tax, and then you start thinking off the top of your head, okay, OKC drafted extremely well. The Rockets are in the middle of a rebuild, but they're ascending. So that is why the Kings find themselves in a weird spot, because they're not paying luxury tax, which isn't bad. But these teams, most of them have championship aspirations. The Pelicans, that just didn't work out. But the Cavs started out, 15-0. The Clippers are kind of in a weird spot, but that Steve Ballmer, he don't care.
Last year, they definitely had championship aspirations.
And that's where that's leaning on from. Dallas Mavericks went to the finals. The Warriors are the Warriors. The Knicks are now the Knicks. The Sixers, they get Paul George, and they're trying to rock and roll. The Nuggets, just a couple years, I keep saying a couple, but now 3 years removed. Two years?
No, they're only 18 months.
Yeah, a couple months removed from a championship, so you're going to spend because they're worth it. Miami Heat, that's interesting to me. That spending, especially because everybody's okay with the Miami Heat and they get all these votes. They were number 3, I think, on Sam Amick's list, but they're in the luxury tax, and there's number 6 into the luxury tax, and nobody would call them a championship level team. I don't think.
I guess not. No, but they were 2 years ago.
Los Angeles Lakers, I mean, they won in the bubble. That's 4 years ago now. They're number 5. The Milwaukee Bucks, we get why they're there. It hasn't worked out, but
they've won a championship, but they also, Giannis specifically hasn't won a playoff game since 2022.
And then you have the Celtics number 3, who that's the least surprising thing there. And I don't think anybody is complaining because they just won a championship. Number 2, the Timberwolves, like we said, they made some moves that will help them moving forward. But yeah, Timberwolves, they're looking to win. I mean, it's not as if Julius Randle isn't making, is making peanuts. And number 1, the Phoenix Suns, who as so far they've underachieved. So those are the teams. And then you have the young teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Rockets. All right. And that's it. Those are the 4 teams. I just read off a bunch of Western Conference teams. There are 4 teams that are balling right now and not in the luxury tax, and they have young talent. Oklahoma City Thunder, Houston Rockets, Memphis Grizzlies, and is that it?
Sacramento?
Sacramento is 12. I'm looking at the Western Conference standings right now.
Is it San Antonio maybe?
San Antonio's 11. So I think it's only 3. I think it's only Oklahoma City Thunder. And funny enough, they're 1, 2, 3 right now.
Yeah.
They're 1, 2, 3 in the West, and none of them are in the luxury tax. They made decisions, right? The Grizzlies, they stunk, but Ja kind of changed. So got to get to the other side. When we do, we will get to the Kings Pelicans preview, but it does highlight some of this stuff. You got to make the right decisions, and we get why maybe going to the luxury tax for somebody that's not going to take you over the top makes sense. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Christmas music is everywhere. The smell of gingerbread is in the air. And wait, what's that sound? It's Santa. He's headed back to Sacramento for the 41st Annual Santa Parade, December 14th in downtown Sacramento. Bring your entire family to the parade route around the capital for over 100 floats, including marching bands, pageant princesses, clowns, horses, and of course, Santa himself.
The 41st Annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 14th with Shriners Children's Northern California, Gurnick Academy, and the California Army National Guard. The fun begins at 10 a.m. Get more info at sacktownsports.com.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Holidays at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
I'm Craig Ashton with the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. It may sound contradictory for a personal injury firm to wish you a safe holiday season, but we at Ashton & Price wish that no one has to suffer an injury in an automobile collision. But if you're an accident injury victim, you can lean on Ashton & Price to do all the legal legwork, then introduce you to the best medical care providers in the area, so during this holiday season you can focus on your health and your family. So from all of us at Ashton & Price, we advise you to have the happiest and safest of holidays.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
.530 is disagreeing with Mark a little bit on the text line. King's goal, 100%, is to win a championship. You're not going to go to the luxury tax for players that don't have a chance to achieve that, though. We know that. The Kings have championship caliber players right now. Not a lot has to happen to take that next step. What is the right move is the question. The problem is that right move might cost you, even if it's just by a little. So there's going to have to be some wheeling and dealing to get what you need and to stay away from that luxury tax. And it can be done, but it'll cost you in different ways, whether that's draft picks, whatever the case may be. It's going to cost you something.
Yeah, and to Mark's point on the text line saying that I think he said the Kings have never put themselves in a position to be a championship caliber team, and I think the easiest way to become a championship caliber team. Because I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, like where Milwaukee was 10 years ago, where Denver was 10 years ago, that's not that dissimilar from the starting point of the Kings, right?
No.
But I think what those teams had going for them was they drafted a Hall of Fame generational player who happened to play their entire primes with those teams, right? And Sacramento has drafted very good players, even one great player in De'Aaron Fox, but it's never been that generational player that because you have that player on your team every single year you are considered a championship contender. Even back in the 2000s, I mean the Chris Webbers and the Mitch Richmonds of the world, they were acquired by trade. So I think maybe that's the reason why it doesn't feel like they're year in and year out that championship contender, is because the easiest way to become one of those is to draft Jokic or draft Giannis or draft Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I'm just looking here at some of these other teams and what they've done. Yeah, 2018, the Grizzlies get Jaren Jackson, who that's a hit, right? You get Jaren Jackson, 29. They go back to back with hits. You went Jaren Jackson the first round at the 4th pick in 2018, and then you get Ja Morant with the 2nd pick in 2019. That's huge. Right. And they've actually had a couple really good players that they've moved as well. They moved Trey Murphy to New Orleans. They also moved Walker Kessler to Minnesota, and then he made his way to Utah. So
I think to make it 1, 2, 3, I think the next year after Ja Morant, they took Desmond Bane in the first round too.
Yeah, well, that's not showing up for me. So I think maybe they got him.
Yeah,
that was part of one of those.
Yeah,
trades.
Look later in the draft. He was picked 30th by the Grizzlies.
I see what you're saying.
I don't remember, but they took Desmond Bane with the 30th pick in 2020.
Another hit. So that's what it's about. And that gives you a lot of wiggle room to be a contender. Now, do I think the Grizzlies are going to win the championship? I don't think so, but they're in the hunt for that piece as well, and they have money to spend because they hit on these guys, and then they go and they take a Zach Edey and look at Jalen Wells already. So it's drafting is such a huge thing, and they haven't hit on everybody. Marcus Sasser out of Houston. Not a hit. That's a miss.
Yeah, but I think the bigger, more interesting point is once you get into like pick 10 or below in the draft, you kind of have like a 50-50 shot of that player becoming an impact guy. Not so much because they aren't good players. That's just when you get into the roster crunch of you can take as many guys as you want in the late 1st and 2nd round, but you can only keep 15 guys on the team. There's only 450 players at any given time that can stay in the NBA. So I give Memphis credit for guys later in the drafts like a Desmond Bane, like a Jalen Wells, like a Santi Aldama, that were kind of 50-50 shots, but now have developed not just into like guys on the deep bench, but guys that are actually giving them impact.
They hit when they were supposed to hit, and they've hit when they weren't really supposed to hit.
That's the thing that really just screws you over. Not to bring it back to the Marvin Bagley of it all, but Marvin Bagley was picked 2 picks ahead of Jaren Jackson Jr., right? So missing at the top of the draft is the thing that just screws over your chances from the very get-go. I know when the Chicago Bulls traded Jimmy Butler and they started their teardown, they got like some decent players, but they missed on that like superstar player that you hope to get from being at the top of the draft year after year. Like they ended up with Wendell Carter and Kobe White and Larry Markkinen, which are good players, but and Markkinen got better once he left Chicago, but they never hit on that one guy that you hope to land at the top of the draft like Memphis did with Ja Morant.
Let's get to that Kings Pelicans preview. When we return, we'll find out who's out for the Pelicans. Well, I'll let you know now. A lot of players. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Expect to have more rain developing as we head through the afternoon and on into the evening today, with temperatures warming into the mid to upper 50s and winds from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Get the latest forecasts on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
It's the year-end event right now at Folsom Lake Kia with huge year-end savings, low finance rates, and zero-down deals with approved credit. Come see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia and tell them DC sent you. FolsomLakeKia.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional detail.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. SubcontractorsUnited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Give your family a real treat. Bring out all the flavors of the upcoming holidays with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. And get this, Napoleon Grill's Black Friday Cyber Mondays include a limited time $300 off their top-selling Phantom Grill and 15% off all gas, kettle, and travel grills. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last. Complete with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Whitey and Napoleon Grills wish you happy holidays. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter.
877-637-3237. Yep, 'tis the season. Hey, if you take pride in your gift giving, here's a great idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but you know they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now, and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift from the Good Feet store. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville, and in Reno on South Virginia Street.
Ho, 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 ho. Looks like you made the ice list this year.
Santa, don't you mean the nice list?
No, ice, because Prestigio Jewelers carries all the ice you need.
For over 30 years, Prestigio Jewelers has offered in-house financing and fine jewelry. Guaranteed credit approval between $400 and $10,000 with no money down options. Make this Christmas season unforgettable. The perfect jewelry, the perfect price, helping you build perfect credit. With locations in Sacramento, Stockton, Merced, and Fresno, or online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? Sunpoint Public Adjusters can help. Sunpoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call Sunpoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. Sunpoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Had to let that drop right there. 30 more minutes with you. Taking you up to 2 p.m. Going to hand you over to the Drive guys, Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, Jay Johnson. And I'm looking here. It says that it's going to rain on Saturday. And my boss texted me and said that the Santa Parade is rain or shine. Huh.
Didn't it rain last year for the Santa Parade? Or was it just really cold?
It was just cold. It was just brick out. That's what they say in New York. I don't know if they still say that, but they used to.
It was bricked outside.
No.
What?
It was brick.
It was what?
It was brick.
It was brick.
It was brick.
Who's okay?
Or it's brick.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the Pelicans, huh? Speaking of throwing up bricks
I'm sorry.
tonight, am I right?
I just saw the rain and it just, my goodness. I'll still be out there, apparently. So come holler at your boy and bring an umbrella, please, even though I think umbrellas are overrated, but that's a conversation.
Wait, are they overrated or underrated?
They're overrated.
Overrated.
Yes.
Okay.
Umbrellas are overrated.
Yeah, I think so. At this point, we have, I guess it's maybe your head, but I'm like, most rain jackets nowadays are
just
like.
Give me a hardcore rain jacket and we'll
get
rock
the Gore-Tex.
That's right. Hopefully
you can even get them for your shoes.
Raining threes or raining anything in New Orleans tonight as the Kings look to not lose to the Pelicans 7 games straight. That would be 7 games straight if they lose tonight. Here are the Pelicans that will not be playing: Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, Jose Alvarado, Jordan Hawkins. Daniel Tice is questionable. He missed last game with a neck injury. Javonte Green is questionable as well with an ankle. We have this sound from Keegan and Sabonis yesterday or a couple days ago. They were asked about playing the Pelicans, and this is what they had to say.
Man, of course, like if you go 0-6 against a team in a season, it's tough. But we want to go in there, we want to win. That's our goal right now. They have a little bit of a different roster, and guys out, so we just want to go in and continue to play like we've been playing. I think we'll find success.
I don't think we've struggled, but we definitely can't lose. I mean, that's all I got to say.
We definitely can't lose. That is from Domas Sabonis, not trying to lose tonight, and they shouldn't, man. I'm looking here at some of these Pelicans numbers. Well, number one, they're 5-20, which is atrocious. That's very bad. All right. As far as how you find yourself 5-20. Well, number one, you're not very healthy at all. Number two, your net rating is negative 11.8. They have the second worst net rating in the league. The only team that's worse than them, the Washington Wizards. Now, I know it hasn't been the team that they wanted to put out there. They started with DeJounte Murray injured, then Zion, then Brandon Ingram. You get DeJounte back. You lose. You're just continuing to lose guys. So this current team that they're going to put out tonight might not be a minus 11.8 and have the second worst net rating in the league, but collectively they do. They haven't played together for a very long time, this specific group. So I expect things to be clunky. I expect the Kings to want to not give them any hope, very similar to the Jazz. Hey, at this point, you're looking to maybe capture the flag and just get a lot of talent in the building if you're the Pelicans. So just put them out of their misery early.
I've been saying this for 7 days now, where it's basically like I have no idea whether the Pelicans are even trying to capture the flag. Are they the worst team in the league? Are they going to try and win? Are they going to extend their GM? Are they going to fire their GM? Are they going to trade Brandon Ingram? Are they going to extend Brandon Ingram? It's so interesting. I guess I understand why people are afraid of the 0-6 from last year thing, because obviously the Pelicans were the team that knocked the Kings out of the playoffs. And if the Kings had just won one of those 6 games, they would have been at least in a first round playoff series last year. But this is kind of like that old, Ship of Theseus thing, where it's like, if it's a completely different Pelicans team, but they're wearing Pelicans jerseys, is it the same Pelicans? And people I think are conflating the Pelicans team from last year to the Pelicans team that the Kings are now going to face.
But to be fair, this Kings team last season lost to like 5 different versions of the Pelicans as well.
That's true.
They lost to the Pelicans. I don't even know if they ever had Zion and Brandon Ingram. They must have had them for one.
They
of
definitely
the 6
had
games.
Zion for the was it the play-in? Zion. When did Zion get hurt? Did he get hurt in the play-in before?
I mean Zion and Brandon Ingram, but they did not have Zion in the play-in game. They only had Brandon Ingram. But there are games where the Kings lost to the Pelicans where they only had Zion. There are games where the Kings lost to the Pelicans where they only had Brandon Ingram. I'm assuming one of those games, both of those guys played.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Zion didn't play in the 3rd matchup from that year. I'm just going to go back and see.
He definitely owned the Kings, and I believe it was at home. One of the losses at home, Zion owned the Kings.
Yes, I do remember that.
He had 8,000 lefty layups, 8,000 of them. So they have the 3rd worst defensive rating in the league. They have the 2nd worst offensive rating in the league. And like I mentioned, they have the 2nd worst net rating in the league. Maybe not this specific group, but this group hasn't even played together.
So to your point, yeah, I'm looking it up here. At least 4 different games, they've had 4 different lineups play. The one that they lost by 32. Yep, 5 different games, 5 different lineups. Let's try the last one here. Okay, 6 different games, 5 different lineups, which is what the Pelicans put forward against the Kings last year. I think Zion played for one of them, and that's it. But they had 5 different lineups
and
combinations beat the Kings last year.
And still won. So I think this could help the Kings not take a normal 5. I think it could help because I think they will not take a normal 5-20 team lightly because of last season's past. So hopefully they do use that. Kyle, the Kings, and we'll give our predictions here before as we get into prop talk as well. Kings are favored by 7 as of 2 hours ago.
Okay.
I like that. Nothing crazy. It's not 13, anything like that. I think Vegas knows a little bit of what happened last season. The over-under is 231.5. But -7, I like, and I know people get on me because I never take the Kings, and it doesn't really make a difference. Whether they lose or not, sometimes I'll pick the Kings, they lose. Sometimes I won't pick the Kings and they'll lose. But I like the Kings tonight at -7. I think that's realistic. I think the Kings should win by about 11 or 12, and they get this monkey off their back.
It looks like the line actually started at 5.5 and has moved to 7, which is kind of interesting just looking at it over the last 24 hours, basically. But I think this is, I said it yesterday. We'll do the exercise again for the new people who are listening. Say it with me. The New Orleans Pelicans are a bad team.
They are bad.
I know that they went 0-6 against them last year, but the New Orleans Pelicans are a bad team.
They're not good.
Sacramento Kings are a good team. Good teams beat bad teams more often than bad teams beat good teams.
Most of the time. So we'll see. Don't sleep on CJ McCollum. He loves playing. The Sacramento Kings. Don't sleep on DeJounte Murray, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones. I would imagine that's your 4 right there. And Yves Misi, the rookie who's been balling. So they're NBA players.
That was their starting 5 on Sunday. The 5 you just mentioned.
That will probably be their starting.
And then
5.
It was 28 minutes for Brandon Boston Jr., which he was like a deep bench guy on the Clippers last year. So I don't think they have much depth after that top 4, and that top 4 is still. Let's do this fun game here. If I gave you the top 4 of the Kings versus the top 4 of the Pelicans for this game, DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, you're obviously taking the top 4 of the Kings, right? With Fox, Sabonis, DeRozan, and Monk.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. I would. But that to me is a close game. And to be honest, this is not even about who the Pelicans are missing. This is about the fact that the Pelicans, they haven't played together a lot with this group. I think if this was their starting 5, I would be more worried if they had been playing with this group the whole season. And I know their bench stinks, but the Kings don't have a great bench either. The fact that this collective group for the Pelicans just hasn't played together very much. That's why I'm confident. It ain't about the names.
Yeah, I feel like the Kings bench could cook, though, against this group, considering that the last 2 games against bad teams, Sacramento Kings bench has averaged like 40 points a game almost. So
yeah,
I don't know. I like their chances, but we'll see. Obviously, the Pelicans are another bad team. So if people are asking the question of will the good run of games from last weekend carry over to now, I mean, they're not really getting tested against even a decent NBA team right now. So I don't know if tonight is going to answer your questions, although I would assume this is one of those games where if you're high on the Kings right now, your preconceived notions are going to be confirmed, or if you're down on the Kings, your preconceived notions are going to be concerned, because either they'll crush a bad team or the Pelicans will keep it close, and you can come back and pound your fists on the table and say they couldn't blow out a terrible Pelicans team.
All right, let's get to the prop talk quickly here for the Niners and your Sacramento Kings. First and foremost, yeah, I got the King. I don't have a score. We don't have time. I got the Kings covering -7. Kyle, who is your Niners pick and who is your Kings pick tonight?
All right. So for the Niners of it all, there's not a lot of good stuff for the Niners. I didn't look at the Rams ones, but like a Puka Nacua would be a good one. But for the Niners, I'm just gonna say Jake Moody, 7. Sure, he'll get 7 points.
All right, that could be dicey. They are at home. Who do you have for the Kings?
My Kings pick is going to be our favorite NBA, or averaging 15 points a game off the bench guy. I'm going to go with Mr. Kevin Huerter.
Kevin Huerter.
And Kevin Huerter is at 9.5 tonight, I believe.
Yes.
Well, he's averaging 15.2 points a game since coming off the bench. So according to my math, 15 is more than 9. So I'm going to take Kevin Huerter to get 10 or more points tonight against the Pelicans.
There you
Kevin
go.
Huerter.
Thank you, Patrick Beverly. I got Mr. Man himself, Deebo Samuel. He's got a lot to say, and he's due, man. He hasn't eclipsed 50 yards in a game the last 4 games he's played. It's set at 50.5. And I'll tell you this much. Deebo, if he doesn't get 50.5 tonight, he's banned. And I don't know if he's just banned for the season. He's banned until I say otherwise, but I'm going to trust that all the trash talking that he's been doing, and they've made a big deal out of it. Well, the media has, as Kyle Shanahan said, is water under the bridge. I think they're going to force feed Deebo tonight. Kind of a backyard game. He likes playing against the Rams. Give me 50.5 yards for Deebo over. And I still like Malik 5 assists over. It keeps dropping. He hasn't got to that line the last couple games ever since his 12 assist explosion. But it's just hard for me to see him not getting it. I feel like that every single game.
Be careful, Allen. Remember, I took the 5.5 and he got stuck at 5.
It's at 5 now, so at least you push.
Yeah, I guess so. I just be careful. Don't go, Allen. Don't fall for the same trap I fell for.
I'm gonna do it. I'm going Malik 5 assists. Give me the over. I think he'll at least get to 5, and you can push that way. So those are our picks. We have Whitey Gleason joining us next. Little crosstalk. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Tonight, Kings and Pelicans. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings is Sacktown Sports 1140.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, MediShare members like it a lot. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And MediShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before December 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 15th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
Here comes Floyd, throw over the middle. Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Be there December 30th for Monday Night Football at Levi Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers face the Detroit Lions.
20, one block and he's in.
It's the final regular season home game of the campaign and presented by SAP.
Touchdown!
Tickets are available now. Secure your seats today at 49ers.com/tickets.
San Francisco!
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you from a good friends at American Energy. Look, it's already cold outside. It's only going to get colder. American Energy wants to help you stay warm and make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 tune-up inspection. Normally, $119, $49 right now, and that includes a full safety and duct inspection. And check it out. If your system's over 10 years old, and I'll bet it is, the tune-up, yeah, it's free. It's free from a company that's been in business since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. Check their Yelp, check their Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. If you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
December deals just dropped at Lowe's. Get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, take an additional $75 off every $1,000 you spend on select kitchen major appliances from Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Amana, and Maytag. Also, save $20 on a Craftsman VersaStack rolling tool chest. Now just $69.98. Lowe's knows deals. Valid 12/12 through 12/18. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items. While supplies last.
This is the famous footwear that everyone has on their holiday wish list. So don't wait to make it famous. Whether you're searching for their favorite character shoes or the hottest sneakers, slippers, and boots, Famous Footwear has the newest styles from Nike, Adidas, Crocs, Converse, New Balance, Birkenstock, Timberland, and more. Unwrap Famous today and make everyone's holidays merry with buy one, get one half off at your local Famous Footwear or famous.com. Some exclusions apply.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. It's Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Good Guys Heating and Cooling. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Meda Chevy sends you $8,000 off MSRP on new 2025 half-ton Silverado LT and RST after rebates. Year-end savings on now with $8,000 off new Silverados at MedaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Looks like there will be off and on light rain. It's from Matt Barrows. Looks like there will be off and on light rain during tonight's 49ers-Rams game.
It's going to be raining pigskin. Brock Purdy's going to light up the Rams. The Rams, their pass defense, Allen, very vulnerable.
Is Brock eventually going to be a glove guy? Because I hate a glove guy. I don't like my quarterback can't have gloves. I don't like gloves. You
Why
like
is that?
gloves?
I haven't really thought about it much.
My philosophy is either 0 gloves or 2 gloves.
Yeah, 1 glove, that's disgusting. What is this, 1994?
Either got to be no gloves or be Teddy Bridgewater with a glove on your non-throwing hand for some weird reason.
You can't do the glove.
I think he should maybe try the glove, especially if he has problems tonight.
If he has problems tonight in light off and off showers, this is going to be rough. But you can't go glove. You can't have a Kenny. Where's Kenny 2 gloves now?
Who?
Kenny 2 gloves.
Kenny Pickett?
Yeah.
I thought his problem was small hands.
And why? And what did he wear?
Did he wear 2 gloves?
Yes, he did.
I always think of Teddy Bridgewater wearing 2 gloves. Anyway, we're one Jalen Hurts injury away from him playing a meaningful playoff game.
Oh, can you imagine 2 gloves in an Eagles uniform? That's just
he's been there all year.
2 gloves in a Niners uniform.
I don't mind the 2 gloves, Alan. I don't know. I don't know how Kyle feels. You may be on an island there.
Was Kurt Warner, did he wear 2 gloves or 1?
I don't remember him wearing gloves.
At
Maybe
one point, I saw him with gloves on. Maybe it was 1 game. Peyton Manning was a 1 glover. Terrible stuff there, guys.
Well, Peyton Manning apparently wore gloves after his neck surgeries because he had numbness in his fingers.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
At his peak, he was not a glove guy.
Yeah, it's just
to your point, Kurt Warner did wear gloves the last 3 years of his career.
Weaker hands. Brady wore an offhand glove. Is that what was going on? He didn't throw with the glove.
That was when he played baseball.
No. I remember Brady had a glove on at some point, but he never went 2 gloves. We'll see what happens tonight.
All the problems the 49ers have, and you're going to pick on. He better not wear gloves.
Jay, you have a quarterback with gloves. Tell me, thank you. You can't. There's negative swag with gloves. I'm sorry.
Maybe so, but
who's a quarterback that's won a championship with gloves?
Well, you just mentioned
Kurt Warner
and
Peyton
Manning.
Although
Peyton Manning, that was his defense.
Peyton Manning supports Allen's point. Peyton Manning, there's an argument to be made, and I love this, is that Peyton Manning might be the best quarterback and the worst quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl, because his 2006 season might have been the greatest season in NFL history, and his 2015 season, he threw more interceptions than touchdowns.
All right, we'll leave the gloves alone, but if I see him, we're going to have to talk about it tomorrow.
But don't you want him if he continues to struggle? Aren't you thinking maybe, or put a little umbrella on top of his helmet?
I can't give a $60 million quarter. I can't give you $60 million you wearing gloves. And I know I'm not alone on that.
This is so weird because Brock Purdy doesn't wear gloves. So now you're
yeah, I'm not sure how we got here.
But if he does, all right, speaking of rain, hopefully it's raining in New Orleans tonight.
Ooh, segue alert.
A little bit of 3 action there.
Senior Segue is back with us.
You have Kyle.
That's going to be my cut.
Kyle is keeping this extremely, extremely simple. The Pelicans stink. And
he's right. And you have been leading the charge since the schedule first came out. I've heard you. Oh, no. The Kings have to play the Pelicans. That's one of the added games.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, no.
They're 0-6.
Run for the hills.
Maybe they should wear gloves while they're trying to shoot against the Pelicans. To try something. 0-6, Whitey. And I'll tell you this much. They haven't played together a lot. You just, in a vacuum, DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, that's not a bad 4 in a vacuum. Take everything else out of it.
They have a 9-game losing streak and a 6-game losing streak.
Don't like that either.
Yeah.
Don't like that at all. You shouldn't have even told me that.
Murray, McCollum, and Ingram and Zion have played 0 minutes together this year.
And
they're not going to play any tonight.
And you know, CJ McCollum is going to have something for the Kings.
Okay.
They passed up on him. They told him they were going to draft him.
I heard someone say, "Did they?"
That was me.
Yeah, I know.
That was me. So you're not worried at all about tonight?
Not really.
Okay.
The thing that worries me is that you're kind of, things have been trending in the right direction. And this is kind of like our friend John Dickinson says, this is a price of admission win. You're supposed to win this game. So if you do, good. If you don't, then we got issues again.
Yeah. The time off, they've
had time off too, though.
They have, but they're not any healthier than they were. But we had Brenden and Frankie on, and we were just discussing what's the vibe of the team these last couple of days. And the theme is just basically training camp.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope it's not training camp because you remember them in preseason. So I hope it's not training camp. I want to see an extremely focused team. Going back to the famous post game that Mike Brown had with the after possession. Look, right after that, so when somebody tried to sneak in a question, he was starting to walk off, and somebody tried to sneak in a question, or they did, about Doug McDermott and what he did. And Mike Brown had that quote of, "This isn't the time to have fun. We're trying to stack wins." I want to see, they're all saying the right things. But they've said the right things before. I want to see that level of focus. I want them to beat the brakes. And by the way, Kyle and I were talking about this. This is the worst day because when it's Niners or whatever you have an NFL game that you're interested in, and then your basketball team is on, first world problems, I know, but you got to go YouTube TV, and then you got to go Amazon Prime. So one's on your laptop, one's on your TV. It's the worst.
Man, you are complaining a lot today. Starting to
really
complain about
is.
Brock Purdy's gloves, which he doesn't even wear.
I'm just saying. But my point is, I hope that the Kings do what they're supposed to do so I can just focus on the Niner game.
Have you ever seen, and maybe you haven't, and if you haven't, I'll drop it, the old Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer TV special? You ever seen that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know the abominable snow monster,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
He hates everything about Christmas. Terrorizes everybody.
Uh-huh.
Then Herbie the dentist takes his teeth out. And he's a reformed Bumble, right? And then he's just like, nice. See, that's the Pelicans last year were the rah. Right now, they're the reformed Bumble.
Okay.
They got no
All right.
teeth.
Look, I wanna believe.
Whitey's spot on with this. I did not remember that. That's a very good.
Why
very
weren't
good
you at
analysis.
elf practice?
Kyle, hit it.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
You know, I'm going to keep saying this guy because I want his average to stay up. I want him to get all NBA. I think we're due for a De'Aaron Fox blowout game. I think they're going to take care of business, but De'Aaron will have, I don't know, get back to his average. Give me 27 in 3 quarters.
Alan, this is the dog segment. You got to do something more than that.
Why?
Because you're picking him as a dog.
I'm picking him as a dog. That's right.
Got to go a little higher than that for me.
Well, give me 30. Give me 30 points for De'Aaron Fox. There you go.
De'Aaron Fox is not to be played with right now.
There you go. Thank you very much. Kyle, who do you got? Because, Whitey, you don't participate in this.
I don't participate.
That's right.
No, and that's okay. I want to go Isaac Jones because I've just been riding the hot hand with Isaac Jones, but I don't know if he's actually going to play tonight or not.
Yeah.
So I kind of have to go in a different direction. So I'm just going to double up on
Kevin Herter.
for the dog as well. I already said he's going to score 10 points. So I don't know. Let's say he scores 16.
There you go. So you have Kevin Herter. I got De'Aaron
Do the
Fox.
Kings have to trade Herter to get LeBron?
They'd have to.
They do not have to.
They don't have to, but they probably should. Kitchen Handy in the sack chat making a great point. Matthew Stafford's terrible in the rain. He's worn some gloves too. This is going to be an ugly matchup. Too many gloves. Hopefully not enough threes in New Orleans. And we have the Drive Guys coming up next. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, Jay Johnson. Thank you for listening to me, Allen Stiles. Thank you to the callers, texters, sack chatters. Thanks to Brenden and Frankie. Until tomorrow, secure the bag like the beat.
When your little one has a cold with a fever, try new DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. It's the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. DayQuil Kids Cold